Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Well, hello there. Purple Daily is live at the Minnesota State Fair here on the Minnesota Rusco Score North podcast deck. Thank you all for joining us on this beautiful Friday. Thank you. The sports dad, Judd's Camp Notes himself,
That's
Judd
right.
Zolgad over here.
There you go.
I'm Phil Mackey, and this is our mustache producer, Declan Goff, in the house. And this is our last State Fair show of 2025. So we appreciate you hanging out with us for the next 2 hours. And it's funny, this started off as it was going to just be a friendly Skol chant to warm up. But we started the show live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. So you want to warm us up here with this great crowd, Judd?
Absolutely. Let's.
I can do the boom booms.
Hold on, I'm going to stand up here. I feel like it's disrespect to sit down on the Skol chant.
It is. Okay.
All right.
I'm going to stay in frame for Pat here.
All right.
All right, here we go. Boom, boom.
Skol.
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 Boom, boom.
Skol. 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 All right. Great job.
That's how we started off here.
That's a heck of a start.
Purple Daily at the Minnesota State Fair, and so we took a minute on Wednesday, and I know everyone in the state of Minnesota. It's still heavy this week across the state of Minnesota, but we didn't do Write That Down on Wednesday, and so we figured let's stack it on the Friday show. So we're going to start with some Write That Down predictions, the accountability session. We'll explain what that means if you're looking at us at the fair. Like, what does that mean? We'll explain that. Feedback Friday. The Packers made a trade yesterday.
Yeah, let's hear it. Yep.
We'll talk about that. Who thinks the Vikings are still better than the Packers?
I don't like the trade still, though.
It still is. I mean, they did get Micah Parsons yesterday.
I don't like the trade.
But who wants to hear Judd talk about Quick Trip to start our show today?
In fact, I have some copy here that's going to very much reflect some of the green and gold, so feel free to boo when you see fit. I'm just going to read, and you can boo. Quick Trip's Gatorade Border Battle is on. Team Purple or Green and Gold proud? Either way, score the ultimate fan experience. 2 Turf Suite tickets to the Week 18. This is pretty cool. Vikings-Packers showdown at U.S. Bank Stadium, plus a $250 Quick Trip gift card to fuel your fandom. If you want in, head to your local Quick Trip and purchase any Gatorade product with Quick Rewards, and you'll earn bonus fan zone points. Packers, Vikings.
Boo.
Let the Gatorade Border Battle begin. No purchase necessary. Get full details at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
Love it. And today's appearance at the Minnesota State Fair for our Score North podcast is supported in part by Game Day Men's Health. We appreciate their partnership. Game Day Men's Health without judgment, just solutions. So it's just been fun, man. We have not done the daily shows at the Minnesota State Fair since the first year. We were like 3 months into the launch of Score North back in 2019. So we were here, but no one really knew what we were doing because we were brand new. And to kind of go away from the fair for like 6 years and come back, we were a little unsure. All right, we're going to bring the shows out here. Is anyone going to come hang out with us? And so we really appreciate you guys coming out in droves the last week and a half.
You guys have been awesome.
It's funny because like when you guys come up to us during breaks or between shows and say, I feel like I know you for 5 years or 10 years, you're a daily part of my life. We feel the same way back to you. We sit in our little home studios or in the studios at Hubbard, and we talk to each other about the Vikings every single day. But we feel the comments, the emails, and it does feel like we're meeting a bunch of friends here the last week and a half too. So thank you guys.
I think the community that we've developed, we couldn't imagine like at the time.
Yeah.
And we pretty quickly knew that it was a good community, but it's grown to such proportions, and it's awesome. And I think the rallying cry of the one before I die for a Super Bowl is such a strong thing now. And I think eventually, you know what? It's going to happen.
I agree.
It's going to happen. J.J. McCarthy, perhaps. It's going to happen.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I'd like that to happen.
It kind of, before we get into the meat of the show here and Write That Down, there's something about Kevin O'Connell.
Yep.
Kevin O'Connell feels like the guy to me that is going to be the head coach with confetti falling. I don't know if it's this year. I don't know if it's in 10 years. And even though we have not seen J.J. McCarthy out of the garage yet in a regular season, it's funny, last night at Huntington Bank Stadium, a small group of us were in a suite watching Gophers Buffalo. It was a group of 14 listeners and Gopher fans and Vikings fans that bought tickets for the Courage Kenny charity auction we did a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about J.J. McCarthy and doing like some comparisons to, like, J.J. McCarthy is, what would he, like, the girl that you dated would be, it'd be like dating someone online but you never meet him in person for the first year and a half.
Well, that might not be.
That's J.J. McCarthy. Are we getting catfished by J.J.? We're going to find out in like a week and a half.
That might not be good. He shows
comparison.
up, he's like 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry about that. I said I lied. Gotta smoke.
Like, but that's the thing. Like, Vikings fans have been dating J.J. McCarthy for a year and a half. It's like we've seen 3 preseason drives. We've heard a lot of good things. Judd's Camp Notes has some glowing reviews during training camp.
Yep.
But we aren't going to know until we see him in a week and a half.
I think our friend Steven Ruiz at The Ringer, who does the quarterback rankings, that's always very controversial. He wrote a piece this week talking about how this is maybe the most unique starting quarterback situation of all time.
Wow.
Because you essentially have a loaded roster, a head coach that's gotten so much out of quarterbacks, and a quarterback that's been in the NFL for a full year but hasn't played a snap.
Yeah.
Like, it's unprecedented. I mean, Mahomes even at least came in the last game of the season with the Chiefs when Smith was there. Josh Allen went through some struggles. We have never really experienced anything quite like this.
You know, one thought that's come to me about this entire thing, to go back to Kevin O'Connell, too. Doesn't it seem fitting that Kevin O'Connell would end what Bud Grant started?
Wow.
Because I see similarities between them, obviously, years and years apart.
Yeah.
But you know, Bud was stoic for his time, but he also was on the cutting edge of a lot of stuff, took the team clearly to 4 Super Bowls. It just seems very fitting of all the coaches through Vikings history, if I was to think of a sort of hand-in-hand, like the handoff.
Yeah.
To me, it goes from Bud to Kevin, because in their own way, in their eras, they, I think, are very comparable in some ways.
And you say sort of handoff or hand in hand. It was literal, because Bud's last couple years on Earth, he still had an office inside the Vikings practice facility. Mm-hmm. And Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but Kevin would get lunch with Bud every week.
Yeah.
They would sit down
once a week
and talk.
I think it might have been on Tuesdays.
Was it Tuesdays?
Well,
so Bud was working on Tuesdays?
They all worked on Tuesdays.
And KOC in an opening.
Yeah. Good point.
And so I don't know if I don't think they broke down the tactical nuances of football strategy, but they talked a little football, life, leadership, and so it was a literal leadership handoff in terms of, you know, legendary Vikings coach to current Vikings coach.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make this too deep or something, but it just feels like it would be a very fitting transition if Kevin could finish what Bud started. And keep in mind, this team has not been back to a Super Bowl since Bud.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get into our weekly segment here called Write That Down. And if you're a longtime listener or viewer of the show, you know that we are the only show in America, well, this and the OG Mackey and Judd version that goes back like 10 years, that's dumb enough to put statistics next to our predictions. Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people have like microphones and, you know, talk for a living or whatever, but most of them say things, make predictions, and then hope that you forget about those things.
Unless they come true, in which case they remind you constantly that they were right.
No, we celebrate the right and mostly the wrong here. So here's how this works. And for the YouTube audience, you'll be able to see this like usual. Click that like button, subscribe button, help us. We're almost to 60,000 subs, so thank you guys. But here's how it works. It's 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They have to be quantifiable in some way. We keep track of completion percentage, and a touchdown is like if it has a 25% chance or less of happening. If it's a long shot, you get a touchdown. And Declan, are we doing listener predictions, or is it going to be impossible here because we're at the fair?
I think we could do some listener predictions.
All right.
We got a live microphone.
Okay.
So how do we want it, I guess, on-air production meeting? We usually do 3.
Yeah.
So we got to pick 3 lucky people, or do we want one person
I think
to
it's
do all 3?
people. I saw two hands shot up here.
Okay.
You know what? And then a hand down here, or a guy Brad down here. So yes, mustache man in the glasses.
I like it.
You, ma'am, and then Brad down here. You'll each make one prediction?
One prediction each.
Okay.
One
Vikings
prediction
or
each.
football, right? So come on up to this microphone here, and we'll get to you in a little bit. We got to get to the accountability session, which is going to be
Juicy?
beefy.
Oh, boy.
By the way, you are rocking it right now, sir. Mustache.
Yeah.
The, the
you're a
button
vibe.
undone a little bit.
It's a vibe.
Oh, yeah, the chain.
Yeah.
That's good look. Yeah,
The
I like
glass,
that.
the glass
I
is
could
kind
never
of in
do
the
that.
middle of your torso there.
That's a look I could not
Chris
pull
Long
off.
with Judd on a stick. What's going on?
There you go. Oh, AJ with all
And
those
Judd
Judds
with
on
his
the
Judd on a stick.
And don't forget the Judd's Camp Notes right around the corner here. Heck of a deal. Writing stuff down, lists, things like that. Who needs your phone?
Got Evelyn and Frankie in the house, too. I think their
kids.
first live Purple Daily experience. So, yeah, we'll get to the listener predictions, but let's get to the accountability session here.
God.
We'll start with Judd.
Oh, God.
Are you ready to be held accountable?
Judd.
I'm glad I can't see it.
I think you can see it on the screen here.
If you
for
want to
the
turn
audience.
behind you, you can. Whoa!
It's a long list. To avoid blowing everyone's eardrums out, we're going to avoid hitting the buzzer on all of these, but you said the Gophers would cover the 17.5 last night.
Yep. Should have.
You said Max Brosmer would throw 2 or more touchdowns against the Titans.
I feel robbed.
He played well enough to make the 53, though, so
Yeah, but I
the
wanted more
spirit was
touchdowns.
correct.
Yep.
You said Sam Howell will have 2 or more interceptions in preseason games.
Didn't get a chance.
He was so bad they didn't let him play.
I know.
Didn't get a chance.
He didn't get the chance to fulfill the prophecy that I had.
He tried on that one YOLO throw for sure.
He did.
You said Dwight McLaughlin would have at least 1 interception in the preseason games.
Made the
You
roster.
said when the Patriots and Vikings have their joint practice, there'd be a story about how much Kevin O'Connell liked Drake May. I did not see any of those stories.
You know, there was a story about Drake May's relationship with Sam Howell and how close
Yeah, I saw that one.
they were. If I'm Drake
good.
May, I'm beginning to distance myself.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, Sam, I can't talk right now.
Start ghosting his text
Yep,
messages.
yep.
Yeah.
All right.
You said Zemiah Vaughn would have at least 1 interception in a preseason game. Lucky Jackson or Ty Felton would lead the Vikings in preseason catches. It was Deshaun Jones.
Yep.
And Kenny Pickett will be the Browns starting quarterback in week 1.
That's really old. That was really bad. Didn't even make the team.
But on the good side, you said Max Brosmer would make the 53-man roster.
Oh, yay! Hey! Forget all that red.
The Brosmer Whisperer, Judd Zulgad.
Yep.
You said Kobe King would beat out Brian Asamoah for basically the last linebacker spot on the 53. Nice job.
Yep, feeling good about that one.
At least 2 Vikings UDFAs would make the 53, which we deemed a touchdown because their roster was so stacked going in. This is like months ago.
Yep.
Nice job. And the Vikings would pick up a former first or second round pick between like the early summer and week 1. Carson Wentz.
There you go.
Nice
There
job,
you go.
sports
I
dad.
came back a little bit. I redeemed myself.
Couple touchdowns. I'll take that week, actually.
Couple tuds.
I think I'd take it.
Yep.
All right,
Oh.
we'll get to my
Oh.
accountability. Little mixed bag here. We'll start with the bad. So I said it was a preseason game parlay. I said Zemiah Vaughn interception, Gabriel Murphy sack, Sam Howell takes at least 2 sacks. The Zemiah Vaughn interception did not happen. Logan Brown, top UDFA, would make the Vikings 53. Nah,
Didn't even come close.
no.
Sort of buried him.
No practice squad.
Wow.
Vikings would sign Asante Samuel Jr. before week 1. I blame the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line for
Wow.
leading me astray.
Just gonna blast them, huh?
Yeah.
After we gave him tons
Yeah.
of credibility.
And the Vikings would sign one of these old guards. Zach Martin, Brandon Scherf, Kevin Zeitler. I think like all of them retired or 2 of them retired.
They saw this prediction. They're like, no.
Yeah, we're good.
But I did say specifically back in March, Carson Wentz will be a Viking between now and week 1. Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
I'm wrong a lot, but let me have this.
Yep.
Wow.
No, bask in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Give us a couple seconds on how great this prediction
Yeah.
was.
Yes,
feel?
let's just linger on this for a moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, 10, move
Feel
on.
the greatness of that prediction.
All right.
I said the Vikings would sign or trade for another quarterback before the start of the season. Carson Wentz cashing again.
Yep.
Vikings would trade for a wide receiver by week 2, Adam Thielen.
Yeah, there you go.
And the Vikings would add another Pro Bowler between middle of summer and week 1. Thielen Wentz.
Give it up.
I mean, that's impressive.
That's a nice
I
week.
don't even want to see mine.
That's right. All right. Well, let's get to the listeners. Only one thing came off the board. It was Andrew predicted, quite negatively, by the way, that Jordan Addison for a third straight year would be involved in a negative offseason incident. The self-restraint of Jordan Addison.
Yep. Knowing he was going to get suspended, so he probably shouldn't do something else to get up to 6 games.
And then here's Declan.
Okay.
Dude, Declan had one of the great weeks in the history of Declan's. Write that down.
Let's go.
We'll start with the bad. You said Xavier Scott would score a touchdown in the final preseason game, and he'd make the 53. Well, you got the 53 part, but it was a parlay.
Yeah.
So
Yep, that's the breaks.
You said Kirk Cousins would throw multiple preseason touchdowns.
Did he play?
I don't think he played at all.
Did he play? He didn't play.
So he's not working on Tuesdays. He's not like what would you say you do here?
I don't know. Going to Great Clips too much. You can only get your hair clipped so much.
Cash and checks is what that dude is doing. I'll take that money.
You said Mekhi Blackmon would be the highest-rated Vikings cornerback in Week 1.
I meant for the where did he go? The Colts.
Colts.
Where did he go? The Colts.
He went to the Colts.
However, you said Terry McLaurin would have a new contract by Week 1.
Should have
nice
been the Vikings.
job.
That's okay.
No.
And then this is a string of touchdowns for you. You said the Vikings would trade or release Sam Howell before Week 1. Before camp, you said that.
Wow.
You said at least 2 UDFAs, undrafted free agents, would make the Vikings 53. And you said 3 years ago, Adam Thielen will play for the Vikings again before he retires.
Let's go.
Let's
go.
Wow. Very nice, Declan.
All right.
See, you were afraid to look at it, and it turns out to be one of your best weeks ever.
That has to be my oldest prediction that came off the board. I don't like making predictions that go into the field. I like making ones that come off the board because my memory will forget about them.
You've mocked me.
It's got to be the oldest prediction I've ever had.
It was
on the board.
Let me open the spreadsheet of glory here. So it was your second oldest prediction on the board. You said Chad Greenway, who made a cameo here
He was here yesterday,
will be inducted into the Vikings Ring of Honor.
I still feel good about that. I feel decent about that.
Yeah.
Might not be immediately, but I feel good about that.
He'll go in eventually.
Either I'm dead, fired, or that'll happen, but it'll happen.
Well, it still comes off the board.
And it still comes off the board.
In green, if it's right.
Assuming you guys are also still employed gainfully and doing right that down.
Well, we'll call you.
Yeah, let me know. Let me come on the show for that week if that happens, please.
Yeah. So with that, the updated statistics here on the season. The season goes Super Bowl to Super Bowl, and we're all doing pretty well here. I'm at 55.3% completions. Judd's at 41.9%. Declan 38.7%. Listeners are dragging a little bit here. 33%. No touchdowns. Declan takes the touchdown lead with 6. Judd and I each have 5. Career stats going back about 4 years. Declan 37% completions ahead of my 35. Judd just under 35. Listeners 24%. I've got 63 touchdowns. Everyone has over 50. So those are the stats. All right.
I feel like the listeners, ordinarily their percentage or completion percentage is not good, but they're throwing touchdowns because they go for it.
Yep.
They take deep shots off 9 routes.
Yep.
But I feel like now we have an issue because they're not getting completion percentage and they're not throwing deep. So I think they might want to go back to their old ways of just going for it.
Yeah. No, it does feel like there's a little bit of an offensive conundrum happening for the listeners, for sure. So, all right, well, we're going to start with the listeners. So I want Brad, you come up here first, and then you guys form a line behind Brad. So you'll give us your first prediction, and then we'll go Judd, Dex, me, back to listener, and we'll go from there.
Okay, good to see you guys. Brad from Ramsey, if we want to get the particulars out of the way. All right, I am bullish on this interior of the Vikings offensive line, plus the upgrade of their running game. So last year, as a team, they finished like 19th overall in total rush yards, like 1,800 some. This year, write this down, the Vikings run game will be in the top 10 in terms of total yardage. Write that down.
All right.
Very nice. That's huge.
Let's run the ball.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah, kind of feels like that's a prerequisite for them to be contenders. You can't put it all on the first-year starting quarterback,
They won't.
right?
They won't.
No.
It's just going to have to be in-game. O'Connell at times is going to have a conversation with himself about continuing to run the football. Okay.
RTFB.
Write this down. Adam Thielen will have the most receptions among Vikings wide receivers in the opener against the Bears.
Oh.
We'll lead the Vikings in receptions.
We'll lead the Vikings. No, receivers. So Hawkinson might have more, but he's going to have more than Jefferson.
So this is only between Thielen, Jefferson,
and any other slabby.
And you and me
whoever
and
else
him.
is on the
Yeah,
roster.
because I don't think, I think there's a chance that Hawkinson leads the team in receptions. Heck, there's a chance Aaron Jones does.
Oh,
But the Bears are obviously, like most teams, going to try to take away Jefferson. I don't think in the first game J.J. McCarthy's going to try to force the ball in a ton to him.
Okay.
Thielen can run routes and he can catch the ball. He's going to be an option. So
this is kind of to simplify this. You're basically saying Thielen's going to have more catches than Jefferson the first game, right?
Yes, exactly. So wide receivers being the key word.
Well, if they're going to take away Jefferson, Thielen sits down and
sits down,
catches a couple little 8-yard passes, gets the momentum going. Okay.
I like it.
All right, Declan.
All right, I'm going to ride a little bit with Brad here, hand in hand, and make a Jordan Mason prediction. Jordan Mason will score at least 10 rushing touchdowns in 2025. I don't think they have had a double-digit touchdown rusher. Dalvin Cook didn't do it his last year in 2022. I think you got to go back to 2020.
They had 9 as a team last year.
Yeah. Dalvin had 16 in 2020. I don't believe they have had an individual rush for double-digit touchdowns since 2020. And it breaks this year, Jordan Mason with at least 10. Write it down.
I think they've been single digits as a team in the last 2 years. I want to say O'Connell's first year, they were at like 12 or something like that. And then the last 2 years, it's like a total of 16.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yikes.
It's got Jordan Mason should be able to help solve the inside the red zone rushing woes problem that they've had here. So, okay, my first prediction, write this down. Carson Wentz will throw a touchdown pass for the Vikings this season.
Oh, I have a Carson Wentz prediction as well, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how it's going to happen. Maybe it's garbage time. They're up 38-7 on the Bears.
God, I hope so.
Ben Johnson's on the hot seat in year one, and Carson Wentz comes in. Maybe it's a revenge game against. Don't they play? I think they play one of his former teams. They play the Eagles this year.
I mean, who knows? He's played for the whole league now.
So I think, or maybe he steps in like a lot of other backup quarterbacks have had to for this team in the past, and he lights it up. He lights it up.
All right.
So write down. All right, let's get the next listener up here. Tell us your name, where you're from, and your prediction.
All right. My name is Janessa Hammers. I'm from Shakopee, Minnesota, and my prediction is that J.J. McCarthy will make the Pro Bowl this year.
Let's go.
Very nice.
Let's go, Janessa.
Very nice.
All right. Holding her jut on a stick, presented by Pronto Pups. 8 Pronto Pup locations at the Minnesota State Fair.
Mustard only.
Exactly. I learned that now.
Yeah.
All right, back to me. We'll talk about it, but I got a problem.
Oh, God.
I got a problem with this Packers trade. Like, it's just
a problem on behalf of the Vikings, or
yes, because you have now dropped in one of the best defensive players in the league into your division at the last second. Now, thankfully, the Vikings' offensive line's improved, but write this down. An inspired Micah Parsons will have 5 or more sacks in the Packers' first 3 games of the season. I think he's going to come in. The whole thing is not. It's just if I'm the Vikings.
3 games?
Yeah, first 3 games, 5 or more sacks. If I'm livid at Jerry Jones' incompetence. We can talk about it, but you just dropped in a guy who's going to be completely, who's a great player.
Yeah.
Who's going to be inspired now to show that you are buffoons, which the Cowboys are.
I have a lot of takes on this trade too.
Anyway,
we're going to dive deeper on that and what it means for the Vikings after write that down predictions. But I mean they haven't had Reggie White is the historical comparison in some ways for them, for the Packers, right?
Sure.
Where you need this final piece to a puzzle. But there's a lot of differences between then and now for the Packers.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about it. Declan, your second prediction.
All right, I'm going to give you the exact standings of the NFC North in a prediction, a parlay prediction.
Okay.
The exact standings. In 4th place this year in the NFC North is the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears, 4th.
Yeah.
All right. In 3rd place, the Detroit Lions.
Wow.
The Detroit Lions.
You got to pop. You got to pop there.
Audible gasp.
I love how I said the Bears. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's not spicy. That's accurate. But the Lions one, yes, I think they come down to earth. It's a loaded division too. They have a brutal schedule on the road. So I think they come down. Third place, Detroit Lions.
I love this.
In second place,
Are you going to do it?
the Green Bay Packers.
Hey!
And in first place, winning the NFC North, your 2025 Minnesota Vikings.
Their flags.
I love it.
Marvelous job of sucking up, Declan.
All right, honestly, I asked Phil before we started. I was like, so, like, let's write that down. Predictions. Sometimes, we're prone to some checkdowns or some things. Like, how spicy should these? Like, I think these should be great season-long predictions.
I think you should have gone with some of the classic Declan checkdowns here at the fair.
Ooh, what? I got an open prediction.
Write this down. Justin Jefferson catches at least
pass?
3 passes against the Bears on Monday Night Football.
For 20 yards.
Let's
Hey,
go.
you don't become the all-time completion percentage leader without some checkdowns. Tom Brady didn't win Super Bowls without some checkdowns.
No.
All right?
I like what you're doing.
Okay, write this down. Adam Thielen, I'm kind of with you. I think Thielen's going to jump right in.
Yeah.
They need him. He's going to play a ton of snaps. He's going to be out there pretty much the whole game against the Bears. And I think Adam Thielen, write this down, will catch the first touchdown pass of the season for the Vikings. I'm not going to say against the Bears, just in case it doesn't happen until week 2.
Come on.
Maybe they score some rushing touchdowns.
Come on.
But he's going to catch the first receiving touchdown for the Vikings. Write it down. All right, listener, name where you're from and where did you get this beautiful avatar of yours?
Hey, we gotta rock the beautiful avatar. But my name's Zach. I'm from Bloomington. My prediction's a little bit out of spite for my buddy Noah. He's a big Bears fan. So
dude,
week 1,
let's boo Noah. Right?
Vikings. Yeah. Okay. Boo Noah.
Boo his ass.
Noah. All right. Sorry, Noah. So week 1, Vikings are gonna beat the Bears. Thielen's gonna have at least 5 catches and a TD.
Oh, a little parlay.
three-item
Okay.
parlay.
Beat the Bears.
So
Win,
beat the Bears.
5 catches, touchdown.
Tud. Okay. I like this.
That's a TD.
Nice job.
Yeah, that's
Zach,
nice.
awesome
Yeah.
stuff, dude.
Yep.
And Noah, buzz off. Friend Noah. All right, Judd, what's your third and final prediction?
All right, so the Packers got Parsons. We'll talk about it. But you know what? The Vikings still have Jonathan Grenard. So write this down. Grenard will have 2 or more sacks in the opener on Monday night against the Bears in that game. I think he's going to come out and have a big game. We've talked about the fact that I think there's a chance he leads the entire league in sacks. You talk about a guy that's completely locked
Here's
in.
a guy.
Here's a guy.
That's that guy,
Here's
Jonathan.
a guy.
Jonathan Grenard.
All he does is sack quarterbacks. That's what his job is.
2 or more sacks in the Monday night opener.
Man, he's so good. It was fun watching him during training camp, too, just because you don't actually sack the quarterback, but 2 or 3 times in practice, he'd fly around the
Wow.
end, throw his hand up like, that would have been a sack.
Yeah, the Twitter site Purple Persuasion, which does a really nice job.
Great aggregators.
Yes.
Yes.
But they pointed something out that's really probably spot on, is if Grenard has the type of season that we're expecting, and with what Parsons just got contractually from the Packers, Jonathan Grenard's going to get the bag next contract himself.
Do you think the Vikings give him a bag?
I don't know.
I mean, it depends on if Dallas Turner is a
Right,
stud.
right.
Then maybe you go in a different
But
direction.
I mean, the price of those guys now, not surprisingly, is rising and rising and rising.
Yeah.
And Grenard's going to, if Grenard has another really good season, sacks-wise, he's going to put himself in line for a nice pay raise.
Amen. All right, Dex.
All right.
Your third and final prediction here.
All right, I'll make my hottest take that we did earlier this week at the fair, and I'll put it into a prediction. Dallas Turner will lead the Vikings in sacks in 2025.
Wow.
All right.
Loaded defense.
Yeah.
I think Dallas Turner capitalizes. He will lead the Vikings in sacks in 2025.
Okay. Feel like a Grenard, missing of games might have to happen there.
Yeah,
and if,
true.
If that happens and Grenard doesn't miss games, the Vikings have a stud in Dallas Turner.
Stud.
Or the Gangster misses some games.
What's his health status?
I don't
right
know.
now?
They're not
knows?
saying. O'Connell got pretty touchy at the press conference yesterday and said, you'll have an injury report next week. So we'll see next week.
Okay, Kevin.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he has fallen into.
All right, Kev.
Every coach is like this. They eventually grow to despise injury questions, partially because they don't think information is getting out from their opponent.
Yeah.
So they're like, why should we share this with the Bears?
Okay, final prediction here, and I'm gonna do something similar to what Declan did, which is we can't just do our hottest Vikings takes and then not go on the record with some of those.
Sure.
And we got a great email last week from a listener who did 30 years of research. So every 4 years, you play a different AFC division and NFC division. So, like this year, the Vikings play the AFC North. Steelers, Bengals, Ravens, Browns.
Yep.
And this listener went back, and we talked about this on the Hottest Takes episode earlier this week for the full segment. But every year since 1998 that the Vikings have played the AFC North, they've either fired a coach, the head coach at the end of the year, or they've gone to the NFC Championship game with no in-between. So 1998, NFC Championship game. 2001, because it was every 3 years then, because you only had the 3 divisions.
Right.
2001, fire Denny Green. 2005, fire Mike Tice. 2009, NFC Championship game. 2013, fire Les Frazier. 2017, NFC Championship game. 2001, fire Mike Zimmer. So whenever they play the AFC North for 30 years, they either fire the head coach at the end of the year or they go to the NFC Championship game. Kevin O'Connell ain't getting fired this year. So my prediction, write that down, is the Vikings will go at least to the NFC Championship game in 2025. Write it down. And those are the write that down predictions. I mean, the logic, those seasons have nothing to do with this, but it's an incredible trend. It's an incredible trend.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the next step, right? O'Connell's won double-digit games in 2 seasons so far.
Yeah.
They haven't won a playoff game. They certainly have assembled a roster that can win a playoff game or a couple. So I would not be shocked if they did that.
Yeah.
I really would not be.
Okay. And there is a team that's going to try and throw a roadblock up on the Vikings because they just traded for Micah Parsons yesterday. So let's talk about one of the biggest blockbuster trades in recent NFL history, how it impacts the Vikings here in just a moment from the Minnesota State Fair. Purple Daily live for another hour and a half. Our last day at the Minnesota State Fair. For the YouTube audience, thank you for hanging out with us. The in-person audience has been incredible the whole week, but especially today. And we appreciate Game Day Men's Health for powering our fair shows here today at the Score North podcast stage. And I feel like I should just read this email again from Dave.
Read it again.
Can I read this?
Read it again. Sure.
Okay. So listen, Game Day Men's Health has been incredible for me the last couple months.
You're a man. You're 40.
No, yeah, I'm a man. I'm 40. Phil, you look like you're 70. I'm working on that. Thanks to Game Day Men's Health. GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Purple Daily. So Dave emailed and said, I heard your message about game day, and knowing you went there and have been happy and excited about the results, which are, if you're looking to reclaim energy, you're looking to get rid of the mental fog, stubborn weight, all those things that we deal with as we get a little older. Dave said, I'll tell you, 3 weeks into testosterone replacement, I'm seeing and feeling the results. The catalyst for me was poor sleep. My libido was waning. My testosterone was lower than I thought. The team said 6 weeks before feeling results. To be honest, I have felt results in 3 weeks. And I felt like I was 30 years old, Dave emails, in terms of my hankering for hanky-panky being pretty strong. Even my soldier was standing more at attention. All right, Dave.
Salute.
I wasn't even expecting that. Anyways, thanks for sharing your story about Game Day Men's Health. I think that says it all. GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Purple Daily. A shout out to Standard Heating and Air Conditioning as well, Dex, for powering us today.
Yeah, make sure you get your HVACs looked at and go contact Standard Heating and Air. They did that at my house. They were able to check out the air conditioning unit that was very old. Had no idea how old it was. It's 20 years old. It's still hanging on, but they were lucky to give the maintenance it desperately needed, plus even some own tips here and there on how to keep that maintained. You can join their Smart Club, which gives you discounts on repairs, plus priority booking. If you're in need of an HVAC, if you haven't even done it in a few years, which I don't know what you're doing, make sure you go out and contact Standard Heating. Tell them that Purple Daily sent you.
And Roku. Roku is the official TV of Purple Daily for another season in 2025. Football season is here, and with football or any sort of sports viewing, it can actually be a little confusing. What channel is, like last night for college football?
Yeah.
What channel are things on? It's great. We have these a la carte options, but Roku makes it really easy to find the teams and the sports and the games that you want to watch through their Sport Zone. They also have the Roku channel with tons of free channels, hit series, documentaries, really great TVs. You see it in the background of my studio setup as well. Judd's been rocking the Roku hat today, always driving NASCAR.
I got the mug.
Roku Cup.
The coffee mug, huh?
So we appreciate Roku TV bringing us all together during sports season. Roku.com to learn more or shop at a retailer near you. So the Green Bay Packers made a big trade yesterday. They sent 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, a really good, not maybe the player he was 5 years ago, 29 years old now, defensive tackle, to the Cowboys for 26-year-old, potentially future Hall of Fame edge rusher Micah Parsons. Packers fans are already doing a big celebration all across the internet from what I've seen. Vikings fans, maybe some nervous energy. Let's start with, how does this trade impact the NFC North and the Vikings, Judd?
Well, first of all, it's the type of trade the Packers for years and years and years now have never made, and the timing is odd. This is the type of trade that should have gone down in around the draft, when Parsons at least then could have been shopped to about 5 teams instead of 1 team.
Yeah.
So it's a Jerry Jones screw up again. What's new? But it impacts the division with now there is a guy that can wreak havoc consistently. And if you're the Vikings, I think you're not very happy about this, but on the flip side, you're also very, very happy that you improved your offensive line. Now, Parsons obviously can be taken by the tackles, but he's going to rush from different places. It's 2025.
Right.
It's not 1994. So if I am the Vikings, I think I can combat this. I'm going to have to. Does it make the Packers better immediately? Yes, because Kenny Clark actually used to be a wrecker in games against the Vikings.
Yeah.
Now, I think the last 2 years, his play has declined, so he has not been the same player. So the Packers definitely, in my opinion, for right now at least, win this trade. But imagine now if you still had Garrett Bradbury, Blake Brandel, and
Eddie Ingram,
and Dalton Reisner starting.
Yeah.
So the Vikings definitely, I think, are rewarded even more so with the additions of Ryan Kelly at center, Will Fries, and then Donovan Jackson as your guards.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously this is a massive trade for the Packers, and Micah Parsons immediately makes them a more ferocious pass rushing unit. But I was kind of shocked they threw Kenny Clark in. Kenny Clark as a fixture in the middle of that defense, as a run stopper too. Because I think what happens now is, all right, cool, you've got this awesome edge rusher, but part of the reason why the Cowboys moved off Micah Parsons, I don't think it was the biggest reason, but they're terrible at stopping the run, and they wanted to fortify their run defense a little bit. They also just had a falling out and didn't want to pay Micah Parsons the money that is it $47 million a year?
Yeah.
So they massively reset the average annual value.
Yes, exactly right.
So I don't know that if they had kept Kenny Clark and it was just picks, I'd say, whoa, that defense is going to be, because that was like a fringe top 5 defense last year, the Packers. Mm-hmm. But they're taking away a really good player in a different realm and swapping him and giving up 2 first-round picks and taking up a huge chunk of their salary cap on 2 guys.
Yeah, that's
Micah Parsons and Jordan Love.
Yep.
And so I think what happened here is you had 2 franchises get really nostalgic about the 90s. Jerry Jones has this Netflix docuseries out. Have you guys watched any of that yet, The Cowboys?
I have not watched a second of it.
It's like it's actually, I'm 3 episodes in. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. But it's an ode to how great Jerry Jones was in the late 80s into the mid-90s. And he's doing red carpet stuff.
Because of Jimmy Johnson, too, which is what he didn't appreciate.
Yeah, well, they formed an incredible dynastic connection early, but then when Jerry was left to his own faculties after Jimmy left.
Right.
But I think Jerry, they did a whole episode on the Herschel Walker trade. And I think old Jerry got nostalgic about the Herschel Walker trade, thinking, what if we do something that would shock the world? It would give the Cowboys headlines all over the place, which is the main thing he cares about.
Yep.
That's the reason why the Cowboys are the number 1 highest valued franchise, because they're just always being talked about. But I think he wanted to replicate the Herschel Walker trade. The problem is, when they traded Herschel Walker to the Vikings, They wound up getting 8 draft picks because the 5 players were all released and converted to draft picks.
Jimmy Johnson fleeced Mike Lynn completely.
Correct. So they wind up getting 3 firsts, 3 seconds, other draft picks to restock their cupboards and build a dynasty. They're only getting the 2 draft picks in this case for a player that's more impactful than Herschel Walker was. Again, this is 35 years ago. So I think it's Jerry getting a little nostalgic and craving some headlines and wanting to win the negotiation. And then on the Packers side, I think they got nostalgic about the Reggie White acquisition from 30 years ago. For fans old enough to remember, the Packers were a good team. They needed one final piece to their defense in like the early mid-90s. It's like 93, somewhere in there.
Yep.
And so they bring Reggie White in as a marquee free agent, Hall of Fame pass rusher, to solidify that defense, and they go on to become contenders and win Super Bowls. The problem for them then versus now is mid-90s Brett Favre, MVP, gunslinging Brett Favre, is not 2025 Jordan Love. So it's a splashy trade. It does make the Packers more difficult to defend in pass protection. I don't think it puts the Packers in as a Super Bowl team, personally.
I think the Packers looked at this as, if you look at the division, now the Bears are getting a lot of pub. I'm not sold there. I'm just not. But the Bears are getting a lot of national publicity. The Lions are good. I don't know how good, but they're good. If you look at the Vikings, the Vikings, again, went in March and were incredibly active. They brought in a bunch of guys. There's nobody within the league who says, you know what, the Vikings, that's a young quarterback. They're probably not going to be good.
Yeah.
If you're the Packers, you look at the Vikings and say they are trying to win right now. And I think the Packers, Brian Gutekunst made a trade he never makes, and Ted Thompson didn't make, which is to go out and to try to win right now. I don't think the Packers said, let's give this guy a massive amount so that we can win in 3 years.
Yeah.
The Packers are saying the same thing, and I think it's partially to combat what the Vikings have done. So it's interesting. It also, though, on the quarterback thing, and this is what drives me crazy, this is why you don't draft and develop a quarterback for 3 years.
Because you have to pay him the minute that he steps on the field.
They've completely botched the Jordan Love thing. Because Jordan Love, okay, if Rodgers plays a year, because I don't mind the guy. I actually think in some ways McCarthy sitting for a year is not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
But when you extend that into year 2 and 3, where the Packers did the math all wrong was you had to extend Love, and we think he's good, but we haven't seen a ton yet. And how is he going to be when the pressure gets dialed up? So my actual problem, and it will always be this, was they looked at the Aaron Rodgers blueprint with Favre and said, well, he's that, and then he was really good. In the current salary cap climate, I think they screwed this up badly in that sense, but I do think that the division now becomes even more competitive. This division, this is going to be a big boy division, man. This is going to be is going to be big time now.
Yeah.
If you remember the epic 2022 Vikings-Cowboys game that was so great, the broadcast flipped off of it in the middle of the third quarter 4 years ago.
Apologized for airing it.
Nance and Romo.
But Micah Parsons in that game, and completely different team now, different offensive lines, different quarterback. Micah Parsons in that game against the Vikings, 2 sacks, 4 tackles, 5 quarterback hits, a forced fumble, a tackle for a loss. He was a beast. If I remember right, it was him, and then Tony Pollard, I think, went off for the Cowboys that day, and the Vikings ended up losing 40-3. But he's one of the best defensive players in the league, and now they have that, and it definitely makes the Packers better. To answer Phil's question, or to counter it, is does this make them a Super Bowl contender? I think they have as good of a chance to win the division as the Vikings do, and I think their defense got better.
I do think, though, the important thing here, though, is the Vikings' offense and offensive line in particular now is superior to that one.
Is.
That's the one
True.
thing. If you had any doubts about, well, we gave Will Fries a lot, right? Or we spent a first-round pick on Donovan Jackson, I think now you're like, okay, thank God we did that.
Okay, well, let me just, because you said the Packers' defense is better, and I think on the surface it feels like, well, yeah, they added Micah Parsons, so they have to be better. But let me frame the question this way. So last year, in terms of just scoring defense, so points per game allowed, the Vikings were 5th, the Packers were 6th. So they were right. The Packers allowed 20 points per game. The Vikings allowed 19.5 points per game defensively. So they were both right there neck and neck. The Packers subtract Jair Alexander, who
Yeah.
only played like a part of a season, but still
Trash
good,
talked really well.
but played really well for years
Yeah,
too.
but then he got hurt all the time.
So they subtract Jair Alexander and Kenny Clark.
Yep.
And they add in Micah Parsons. The Vikings subtract Stephon Gilmore, I guess, but they replace him with Isaiah Rodgers.
Yeah.
And add Hargrave and Allen to fix their biggest problem. While not subtracting Van Ginkel, they didn't subtract Grenard. They might even add Dallas Turner to the mix. So objectively, when you look at it that way, like the Vikings didn't get worse defensively.
No.
They got better.
Oh, right.
Who got better defensively? I think the Vikings got better than the Packers did defensively with the moves they made in the last 4 months.
Yeah, my point was I think the Packers looked at various teams in the North, including here, and said, are we even close to being that good now defensively? And one geeky thing here, though, Kenny Clark last year turned in his worst overall PFF grade of 60 with just a 9.3 pass rush win rate and a 58.4 PFF run defense grade. So his best years, it looks like, and I mean, the dude's played like 10 years. His best years are probably behind him, but I think the Packers looked at the division and looked at the Vikings and said, if we're going to win this thing, we need to improve.
It just puts you in a weird spot because you already brought this up. They had to commit to one of the biggest quarterback contracts with Jordan Love. And that means, and now with the Micah Parsons contract, and the Packers have been, to their credit, really good at drafting, developing, and you know they've won games with the young rosters. But they're going to have to be flawless when it comes to draft picks the next 5 years, developing players. As we've seen, because the Vikings have stripped away that big quarterback contract, they have not been flawless drafting. 2022 and 23 drafts, they're like 2 for 16. But they've been able to absorb some of those lesser drafts with the extra money they can spend on Grenard, Hargrave, Byron Murphy contract, Darisaw extension.
But this is why when you have a coach who you're confident in that can handle a quarterback as well as Kevin O'Connell can, this is why, you know, when people were like, oh, Darnold was really good, perhaps you should pay him. Somebody said no. Like, this is the whole thing. If there would be nothing worse than you struggle in drafts and then you go sign Darnold to a ridiculous contract for him based on 1 year, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the whole McCarthy thing and why it's encouraging and why I am a big advocate of what they've done is this is how you handle your business. And, you know, the football thing, the drafting, hopefully improves. It looks like it might have. But the business of your salary cap and your cash outlays and all of that, you know, if you make McCarthy, if you bring Darnold back and say, okay, JJ, just sit for another year, and you're wasting the clock. Like, this is the game is it's not to, like, find Sam Darnold and keep him. The game is to draft a quarterback like they did.
The game.
And then develop.
I am the game.
And then develop that guy. And so this is, I just have a big problem with, well, just bring in a veteran. We've been doing that here for how long?
Yeah. So who do you think? We know Declan's answer. He just put it and write that down.
Yeah.
You think the Vikings are going to win the North?
Yeah.
All right. So the trade happened. We just dissected it. Judd, who finishes with a better record this year, the Vikings or the Packers?
I think the Vikings do. And I'm still not convinced because I did this last year. I was like, Detroit, Dan Campbell, it's going to end. Like, it's just and I know the coordinators have both changed, so that might be a difference, but I think the Vikings have a better record than the Packers, and quite frankly, I'm not willing to dismiss Detroit completely.
Yeah. No, Detroit's going to get a bunch of key injured. Aiden Hutchinson comes back.
Right.
They get some key defensive players back, but I am really curious. What did they lose in those two coordinators?
Yep. Yeah.
How much did Dan Campbell's going to have to nail those two hires, or things could get chaotic? I mean, Jared Goff has become a really good quarterback. So I'm with you. It's not like the Lions are going to finish with 6 wins or something absurd.
I think the Vikings are positioned really, really well. And quite frankly, the fact that nationally they're not getting a ton of attention, we saw this last year, right? Expectations that Sam Darnold, he's no good. You guys aren't going to be good. And O'Connell used that, and they thrived.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he's doing the exact same thing, and it might sound cliched and it might sound silly, but if you can convince a bunch of guys, especially a good team, hey, look, you're getting disrespected left and right, it plays an important role. So I think the Vikings are in really good shape.
Is it? Okay, here's another question, and maybe I'm oversimplifying this, but the Packers made this trade because they think they can win a Super Bowl in like the next 2 or 3 years without a first-round pick. Not that they can't add talent, but they feel like we have enough. If we add Micah Parsons, we don't need either one of our next couple first-round picks, so we're kind of good to go roster-wise.
Yes.
Let's go win a Super Bowl. I think for that to happen, for the Packers to win a Super Bowl, Jordan Love has to take a major step forward and be for sure a top 10 quarterback, maybe closer to a top 5 quarterback in the league. I think for the Vikings to win a Super Bowl, I don't think J.J. McCarthy has to be anywhere near a top 5 quarterback in the league. I think he has to be average or better and elevates on the third downs, has to play well in the playoffs. What's more likely, Jordan Love, if I'm right, and maybe you can tell me I'm wrong, but
sure.
What's more likely, Jordan Love becomes the 6th best quarterback in the league, and if that happens, look out, Packers might be holding a parade up and down Main Street.
Don't even talk about it.
Or is it more likely that J.J. McCarthy is a really good top 16 quarterback that's good in the clutch moments?
I think it's McCarthy. Now, Matt LaFleur.
Me too.
Matt LaFleur, in my opinion, is a good coach. So I'm not going to bash him.
It's a little tense.
Yeah, he can be, but
Needs to take a deep breath.
But I think he can get a lot out of Jordan Love. But that being said, do I prefer the roster construction of the Packers or Vikings right now? And it appears to me right now both teams are in it to win in 25. Like, this is not a long-term play. I know that Parsons got a multi-year contract. But I think the Vikings are positioned really, really well. And, of course, this entire conversation is based on health.
Yeah.
Assumption of health, which is impossible. But I think it's more likely that J.J. McCarthy doesn't crash the car, plays well, manages games, does the little things right, and avoids making losing plays. With Jordan Love, I think he could have a good year. But if you're saying, like, top 5, top 6, that's some pretty high territory. I think that's a tougher ask.
Well, I think we need to make it an equal question. So, like you say, can JJ be a top half quarterback, or could Jordan Love be a top 6 quarterback? I think we should probably rephrase it and say, who has a better chance of being a top 6 quarterback next year?
Love.
Jordan Love does, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm bullish on Love. I'm not as down on him. I think he's a freaky athlete. Doesn't take sacks. He does have a propensity to turn over the ball. But I think when you're looking at and you're comparing them both, I think Jordan Love might have a better chance to being a tier 1 quarterback immediately in 2025 than J.J. McCarthy does immediately.
Let's expand the exercise. This is a good little tail of the tape here. Objectively, 2025, tail of the tape. Let's start with quarterback. First year, J.J. McCarthy, or what's it going to be, third year full-time starter Jordan Love?
I'd probably go with Jordan Love just based on experience.
Yeah.
Until we see what's inside the mystery box.
Yep, the mystery box.
Okay, so we'll go. I'm going to literally map this out here. So we'll go check Green Bay. Head coach.
O'Connell.
I can't stand LaFleur.
I like him, but
he's a really good coach, but I lean O'Connell.
Yeah.
I know he has, in terms of resume, one guy has playoff wins, one guy doesn't.
Yeah. Cram it up your cram hole, LaFleur. I'm not a big LaFleur guy.
Wow, how do you feel about him?
Yeah.
But I'd go Vikings.
So we're gonna make the Homer Kevin O'Connell pick there. Let's go offensive line.
Vikings now.
I think it's Vikings, but Packers had a pretty good. I mean, Jordan Love barely took any sacks last year.
Yeah, but they've lost some guys.
Have they lost? I'm about to say,
they got a new
I'll be
center.
honest.
Yeah, no, I'd go Vikings.
Okay.
And a year ago, it would not be even close, probably.
Okay. What about weapons? Weapons to throw to, weapons to hand the ball off to.
The Vikings, see, this is what's so weird. The Packers have actually gone way outside of their comfort zone, drafting a wide receiver in the first round for the first time since 2002 or 3.
Did they almost trade for DK Metcalf too? That was a rumor.
Yep.
They've been looking to get splashy here for the last few months.
But anyway, I'd go, if you have Justin Jefferson, you win.
Yep.
Sorry.
And you've got Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason combined, which maybe kind of. I mean, Josh Jacobs is a load.
Yep.
But just overall weapons, Addison coming back. It's the Vikings. Okay, on defense, let's start with pass rush. I know that the Packers added the best pass rusher potentially, but Jonathan Grenard last year was third in pressures among all edge rushers in pressures, and Van Ginkel, and Dallas Turner, and the B-Flow system. which without interior guys that you added now, Hargrave and Allen, who've been two excellent pressure guys, the Vikings had the 6th best pressure rate of any defense in the league. The Packers were bottom half of the league.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they added Parsons, but in terms of pressure on quarterbacks, are the Packers better than the Vikings after this trade? I don't think they are.
Well, interior pressure, they're not for sure. And I wonder who they're going to get to replace a declining Kenny Clark as well.
Yeah.
Because that's where, for years it felt like to me, especially with Bradbury here, that's where the Vikings had trouble. It was the interior pressure because Bradbury would just get pushed over like Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what the Packers are going to do there. Parsons is the best player of all the players that we're talking about, but the Vikings probably have a more complete package.
Okay. So that's another check for the Vikings. And then I'll throw run-stopping defense. So both the Vikings and the Packers were like right around top 5. Packers, and they both allowed 4 yards per carry on the ground and fewer than 100 yards per game.
Mm-hmm.
But the Vikings, again, took very little away and added 2 high-end, and even like through the draft, Tyre and Ingram Dawkins. They redid the interior of their defensive line. So they should be better in that regard. The Packers took away Kenny Clark and added an edge rusher who's more of a pass rush specialist in Micah Parsons. So, again, call me a homer here if you want to, but I think the Vikings' run-stopping defense got better, and the Packers took a step back with this trade.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. It's hard to say, too, with young guys who come in and, before Kenny Clark established himself, we had no idea, and he was very good. But, yeah, the Vikings definitely have now the bigger names there between Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen, no question about it.
So, if we all agree, I guess, for the most part, that leaves, of the 6 categories we just did tail of the tape, it's 5 checks for the Vikings, 1 check for the Packers, and it's quarterback.
Yeah.
And even that, you hesitated.
I just don't know what to expect from Love. I like him. He's okay, but it's just he eats up. This was not just a Kirk thing. I hate how much of the cat these guys eat up.
Unless you're one of 4 or 5 different quarterbacks that are good enough to overcome. Yeah.
Micah Parsons probably deserves the payday. It's huge that he got. Justin Jefferson is being paid an enormous amount, but he's arguably the best receiver in the entire league.
Yeah.
I've got no problem with paying superstars, but these quarterbacks are being paid at a superstar level when they're good.
Were we just being too homerish? If we say tail of the tape, Vikings are still the best team, I think I know what the audience, are the Vikings still the best team after that exercise?
There you go.
This is going to get clipped all over like Packers Instagram and Twitter and YouTube.
Good.
These homers.
Yeah.
Look what they're saying.
Yeah,
you smell like cheese. Go back to Onalaska.
Play it up and down their tailgates. There you go.
That's right. So we do have a microphone, and it is a Feedback Friday. So we're going to jump into some Feedback Friday here. We can take comments, questions, critiques about the show, life advice, whatever it is. If you want to ask the sports dad a question you've always wanted to ask him, we've got a microphone here, and you can walk up, and we'll get to some questions and some comments, starting with you in a couple minutes, sir. No, still stand there. You want to be first in line. Yeah.
The line's going to get very aggressive. You never know what's going to happen in the line. Yeah.
But first, we want to give people a heads up that our next Purple Daily Unplugged event, we've done like a handful of these, and they're a blast. We enjoy just getting on a podcast over a beverage and, in this case, previewing the season at Running Aces this next Thursday, September 4th. Purple Daily Unplugged, Running Aces, September 4th. Check in at 5:30. Podcast starts at 6:30. And it's a free event, but you do have to RSVP at purpledaily.com/unplugged. Everyone who attends gets a $10 gaming voucher, $15 in food and beverage, a horse racing program, a deck of playing cards, and a bro hug from the sports dad himself.
No, that's not true. I'm not hugging anybody.
Yes. To RSVP, go to purpledaily.com/unplugged. We're looking forward to seeing everyone at Running Aces on 35 just north of the Twin Cities, September 4th. Also, if the State Fair isn't enough of a thrill for you, there's another great event happening right now, the Minnesota Renaissance Festival, going weekends through September 28th, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Labor Day as well. It's great for the family, over 50 games, rides, and attractions, and it's great for friends, date night, You can throw axes. You can shoot a crossbow. There's a petting zoo. Are you into petting zoos at all, Judd?
What type of animals? Dogs? Sure.
I don't think there's dogs at the petting zoo.
I'm probably out.
I'd go to that petting zoo, though.
I think it's like llamas and stuff.
No, I'm out.
Llamas?
I'm out.
Goats?
That's great.
All sorts of things to do and drink and eat at the Minnesota Renaissance Festival. Find out more and a schedule at renaissancefest.com. That's renaissancefest.com. And one more quick shout out before Feedback Friday here to one of the best pizzas you're going to find in the grocery store. That's Green Mill Pizza. Green Mill from our friends at Pep's Pizza. And it's that iconic Green Mill restaurant brand that we've all grown up loving. And you can find those pizzas, tavern-style pizzas, Extreme Supreme, Il Primo, hand-tossed pepperoni, meat lovers, inside the freezer section of your local grocer. Find out more at greenmillfoods.com. That's greenmillfoods.com. All right. What's your name? What's your feedback?
My name is Ideen. I'm from Victoria, Minnesota.
Ideen.
And, you know, it seems like we're all in, going to get Adam here right before the season starts with
Yes.
the injuries at wide receiver and the suspension. What are we going to do to fix the secondary? I mean, I don't feel too good inside with Harrison not even being in the facility yet. So we got 11 picks. We got $30 million in cap. What are we doing here to fix that secondary before the season starts, Judd?
I think they're going to pick up somebody at cornerback. Harrison, I can tell you, is probably questionable for the opener, but this is not a long-term thing. Like, this is not some type of... The response in the press conference yesterday made it sound worse than it is, so he'll be back. I am more worried about the corners, though. The safeties I'm not too concerned about. I've been a Theo Jackson stan for a while. Josh Metellus can play deep, or he can play all his multitude of positions. Jay Ward, I think Phil would confirm from practices he saw, had a good training camp. Cornerback, so I trust Byron Murphy Jr. for sure. I think Isaiah Rodgers is a guy that didn't get an opportunity, and I think he's going to surprise. I'll continue to hammer this point home. The Okudah part scares me. I just don't know. There's just so much. There's been struggles and probably more importantly, injury problems. So I think they're going to make a move by the time that we get to September 8th. I think there's going to be another veteran cornerback here in addition to Fabian Moreau, who they picked up off waivers and put on the practice squad.
Is Shaq Griffin, he's still out there, right? Thanks for your question.
Thanks, dude.
And Jabril Peppers just got cut by the Patriots, but I don't know they're going to go that big game of hunting. But yes, Shaq Griffin is out there, and a guy like that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. So you could find someone reliable that knows your system. Okay, yeah, come on up. What's your name? What's your feedback?
Can we do two?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. My name is Joshua Johnson. Michael Johnson. Sell the team, by the way.
Well, you guys look alike.
Are you,
it's kind of crazy.
Sell the team.
Are you guys twins?
Yeah, twins.
Okay.
Yep. So my question is, do you think we'll win more games by our offense or defense this year?
I think it's defense.
Yeah.
It's funny because with J.J. McCarthy, it's a fun, shiny new quarterback toy, and you know, where Judd's Camp Notes, 80% of the conversation is about how does J.J. McCarthy look, but this was the 5th best scoring defense in the league last year, and they got better, adding more players. So it kind of feels like 2017 a little bit where, I mean, you had a veteran journeyman quarterback that year, but the defense was the backbone. It was the best defense in the league. So, I mean, if there's a pie chart of, like, why did they win 12 games or 11 games, it's going to be because the defense was the 3rd best defense in the league first, and then I think the other things fall in behind that. Yeah.
My question was for Judd. You always talk about Jordan Addison and J.J. McCarthy connection.
Yeah.
But what about T.J. Hawkinson and J.J. McCarthy? I mean, we look at around the league, we got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and then there was Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski.
Yep.
What is their connection looking like?
So Judd's Camp Notes had the best connection of training camp with Jefferson out, to be fair, was, in my opinion, McCarthy and Addison. The second best, for the most part, McCarthy and Hawkinson. Okay. And I think Hawkinson's going to have a big year.
Yeah,
I think he's going to become a main outlet. I think the screen game is going to become more important. And, you know, in fairness to Hawkinson, he didn't catch a touchdown pass. His receiving stats weren't bad. But he came back in season from a torn ACL and MCL. And I'm not saying that that's impossible, but he's healthy now. I put him on a big season, and it's also going to help now, I guess, with Addison out the first 3 games. It's going to give even more time for the Hawkinson-McCarthy connection to work together.
Yeah. Yeah, McCarthy.
Thanks,
people
guys.
call McCarthy.
Sell the team? Okay, thank you. Just wanted to confirm.
Should get a sell the team chant going here. It's the wrong show for that, but I mean, J.J. McCarthy. People called him a handoff merchant at Michigan. He was also a tight end merchant.
Yeah. Yep.
He in a good way. Colston Loveland, and then they had another tight end.
And Loveland was big time and was a first-round pick of the Bears.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think there is no question, especially the first part of the season probably, Hawkinson's going to become a huge part of the passing game.
Yeah. All right. Feedback Friday.
So my name is Noah. I'm from Norwood Young America.
Hey, Noah.
And my first thing I want to say is I feel like you guys are underrating. Parsons can move around a lot. So what my biggest worry is he'll go against Jackson. And because he's young, they're more susceptible to be beat.
Yeah.
So I'd be worried about that.
Yep. No, you're right. There are ways to move him around and run little stunts.
'Cause I think our
and
tackles
twists.
are some of the best in the league, so I'm not as worried about that.
Yep.
for sure.
Yep. But what I'll throw back at you is you're right. But with the interior that they have now, with first-round pick Jackson, Ryan Kelly, who's been one of the best pass protecting centers, and then Will Fries. Do you feel more confident with those three guys in the middle, or Ingram,
100%.
Brad? We
I'm
can bring
just saying,
Bradbury
like,
back, and
maybe it's different because we run the football and we're not getting into third and long, so they don't move them inside.
Correct.
You don't know.
Correct.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to say, is it possible that some of their safeties they view as like the nickel corner a lot too?
Yes.
Like Metellus, like Jay Ward, maybe even Theo Jackson.
They brought that up. Yeah.
Didn't Kwesi?
That might be more their plan with the cornerback as opposed to just a traditional cornerback.
You know what we call that, Noah, in the business?
Positionalist defense.
That's a good one too. But Kwesi called it the big nickel.
Yeah.
Yep.
The big nickel. Now I will say this though: if you have enough receivers, you can make the big nickel not as effective because now the matchups aren't right. So like I do think, to go back to the first question, I mean, I definitely have, if I have a concern about depth right now, it was the receiver room. It's not. It's cornerback. And to go back to your point about Parsons, yes, that he will move around and create problems, but this is also why you need guys like Aaron Jones, who can pick up blocks, who can help out. Like this is why Ty Chandler's not workable, because if Parsons beats his man or if Chandler's supposed to help on that man, it's hopeless. So this is also why running backs have to be able to help in protection.
Thank you for your question, man. Yeah. Come on up. What's your name? What's your
I'm
feedback?
Jake from Otsego. First, Judd famously has a sultry voice that women love.
He does.
So I'm wondering if you've noticed more women coming to the stage when he talks.
They're flocking.
I gotta have
flocking.
Look at him blushing right now. He's blushing.
Dawn is gonna laugh so hard when she hears this.
I wish you would have been here yesterday, because Mrs. Z was here in the house yesterday.
She was. She watched about 2 seconds of the entire show.
Just checking to see if you're still alive.
Yeah, she's like, is Judd still there? Oh my God, I hear him every day.
But according to the emailers, you've got options. All right.
Yeah, the emailers are. I'm sure that's
I
right.
was listening to another podcast yesterday, and you talked about waiters in Wisconsin hitting on you.
Oh, that was with with Colin. Yeah,
So
it's
not just women.
Well, I once had a waiter in a small town.
What?
I'm not joking. He walked by me and pinched my side.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well,
it was very forward. It was very, very forward. I'm in therapy still.
Was he the server for the rest of your duration at that table, or was he serving a different section?
No, he was serving.
So he pinched you, and then you had further interactions?
Yeah, well, the food was really good.
So you were, okay.
The food was really good. I'm just saying, the guy pinched my side.
You are literally describing a Curb episode. Well, the food was really good.
Yeah.
I had to stay.
I had to stay.
Oh, the steak.
He pinches you every time.
I think it was
I love the chicken pot pie.
I think it was prime rib. I think it was prime rib with horsey sauce. You do not walk away from that.
Wow. You'll endure a pinch or two for some good horsey sauce.
I'm like, it's really good.
Yeah.
But also, so I'm a middle school social studies teacher, and I've had a lot of trainings this week with high school teachers, and they kind of march into the room like they're the major leagues, and I'm kind of like the minors. So I was kind of wondering, like a beat reporter's relationship with the national media.
Oh, it's a great
especially like around that whole Aaron Rodgers. It kind of felt like a lot of national guys felt like they had insider information.
Oh yeah.
That the beat reporters didn't have. So what's kind of that relationship covering a team with the national reporters?
Let's pull back. Let's break the fourth wall.
It's exactly what you said.
I feel like we need like a campfire. We gather around Judd right now, and we just listen.
No, it's exactly. And look, it's been that way long before Schefter, you go back to the Favre stuff here. Yeah, they basically march into town. I'm not going to lie, they get more access because they're here shortly, and they've got a national platform, so they get more access to Kevin O'Connell and things like that. And, yeah, we're like mosquitoes, so they're just like, oh, get away from here, get away from here. Ah. So, yeah, you nailed it.
How do you feel when you see Jay Glazer posting pictures working out in, like, the Vikings workout room when he comes in for a visit?
Well,
have you ever tried to get your swell on at the Vikings workout room? Or
the best was Brad Childress' first year, 2006, and they had basically convinced Brad that Mike Tice let us just run around the facility. Like, they convinced him, which was not true, that we could do whatever we wanted. And Brad's like, I'm going to fix that. So one of the first practices in Mankato in the Blakesley Stadium, okay, we're up in the stands, and we are being kept, like, lock and key away. And all of a sudden, I see this guy walking in the back of the end zone with a suitcase, and he's rolling it, and he's walking towards the sideline to go talk to players. I'm like, what the hell is that? It's Jay Glazer.
Oh, yeah.
And the first guy he sees is like Steve Hutchinson. You get a big hug. And meanwhile, we are as far away as you can possibly get
He's like training those players in his
that's his
MMA
thing.
gym,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Now, he is not an insider like he once was, because he was in competition with like Schefter and those guys. He's basically, he still does his Fox hit. I think he got tired of Twitter, so you don't see him break a ton of news now. But, yeah, across the board, if it's a national person, do they have an attitude for the most part? The answer is yes.
There's another angle to this, too, that in order to get on the level where you are a national reporter and you're the one, when a big trade goes down and you're putting that trade out, a lot of that information comes from agents. Like the agent will, on free agent cut day, national reporters are literally getting texts from agents and just putting it out. And to maintain those relationships with agents, if they feed you information or they want something driven, well, you have to sort of play ball in that regard. And I think I feel like the Rodgers camp was trying to push a narrative or a result and picked a couple different reporters. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but that's the way it felt. Because it wasn't a money thing.
No.
He signed for like $5 or $10 million. And
he wanted to be here.
And he wanted to be here. He waited 2 or 3 months.
And the reporter has to buy in. And let's just say if you are Aaron Rodgers in your camp and you went to Cal, and let's say Michael Silver went to Cal, it's going to help you have an in. So,
100%.
But great question.
Thank you.
And yes, don't feel bad. The high school teachers might treat you poorly, but the national media treats me poorly. Keep teaching. Thanks for teaching, by the way.
I've always said I'm the Judd of social studies teachers.
Well, I appreciate you teaching, too.
Oh, man. Yeah, come on up here. By the way, Purple Daily's appearance at the Minnesota State Fair presented in part by Game Day Men's Health, GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Purple Daily today.
What's up, guys?
Hey, man.
I'm Matt Duffy. I'm from Lino Lakes, Minnesota. Currently live in Florida. Flew back last night just to make it here today.
Dude,
for the last
that
day.
is incredible.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, dude.
Appreciate
Couple
you.
things for you. First off, write this down. J.J. McCarthy's son will complete a pass to Dex's son
Oh my
sometime
God.
in the near future.
You better-
I'm going to sneaky backdoor this because it could be a hockey pass. It could be a sideline reporter catching a ball out of bounds during training camp or whatever. Could be Pee-wee, could be high school football, but we'll put at age 50 it will end.
Just in some form,
You're gonna
shape or form.
pass.
Okay.
You better pray to the God of the skinny punks that is his father that he gets his mother's or his like brother or grandfather's athletic genes, because it's not going to come from me.
Well, and size.
And size.
Like your brother's a...
Yes, if he's built like my brother, he's got a shot. If he's built like me, it might be a career in the microphone for that boy.
Genes are weird, though. Like they skip. They're all... So, I mean, this kid could end up being burly.
Yep.
Judd, you've had a working theory for years that when athletes are going through wife is pregnant or baby on the way or newborn, that it drastically affects their performance. How do you bake that into the equation for J.J. McCarthy this season and for Declan,
And
quite
for,
frankly, on vet line?
Well, here's the thing about Declan. Like I told Declan, he can take time off. He's not paid at a rate where it's like fair to say you should work, right? J.J. McCarthy, you can't
Seen
take
the
time
daycare
off.
bill right now? I mean, it's, I got to work.
Exactly.
I'm working to live right now.
Exactly right. So with J.J., I mean, I'm hopeful. You know, I think once the child is born, what you have to do is you have to have the player, like, sleep in the basement. Like, mom and dad have to come help because you've got to have sleep.
Yeah.
But once the child is born, I think you're fine. But yeah, it's always been my contention that if I find out that there's a pregnancy involved or your parents are sick, which happens a lot with players, it can take a real toll.
Is J.J. McCarthy willing to ruin his family dynamic for Super Bowl rings like Tom Brady did?
I don't think, what?
That's the question.
He makes enough he can hire in-house care. It's not like your wife has to do the entire thing. I'm just saying sleep becomes, once the kid's born, sleep becomes the big thing. And I guarantee you Declan will not be sleeping.
Yeah. Nope. No, I will not.
And then
you'll be in
my
such a bad
second
mood.
thing is I plan on going to the Monday Night Football game, Bears, Vikings. I have a buddy of mine, Tyler Tim, who lives in Wisconsin. Boo.
Boo.
He refuses to go to the game with me, even though he lives 2 hours away. So I need everybody here to boo Tyler
Boo
Tim.
Tyler.
Until he comes to
Get
the game
him.
with me. Boo. And I know he's
Get
watching
him.
this live, so
That's right, Tyler.
You better come.
That's
Change
right,
your mind.
Tyler. Yeah, you're a bad guy, Tyler.
Thanks, dude.
You're a bad friend. Yeah, coming up. What's your name? What's your feedback,
Sekou
man?
from St. Michael, Minnesota.
What's your name?
Sekou
Nice.
from St. Michael, Minnesota. I'm a huge fan of you guys.
Here, step up a little further.
I'm a huge fan of you guys, and
Thanks, Sekou.
yeah, I watch you guys every day.
Thank you.
So I'm watching First Take, and they're obviously they're drilling over Micah Parsons. So I'm like, oh, when they're talking about the NFC contenders, they're Lions, Packers, mostly San Francisco. Everyone besides the Vikings. So my question is why are the Vikings so overlooked nationally? Why do you think? Because we have talent on our team. I think we're a top 5 roster in the NFL. But
again,
why do you
it
guys
is,
think
dude.
so?
Yes, it's a great question, and I'll go back to sort of the Packer-Viking comparison. So, last year the Vikings were definitively better than the Packers. The Packers were a blocked field goal away from going winless in the division, right? Okay, so Packers have work to do. They get Micah Parsons, it elevates them potentially, but they're still did they do enough to pass the Vikings with just this trade? And we could debate that. But for the Vikings to not even be in that conversation is kind of wild, and it comes down to the quarterback. That's the reason why.
Right.
The national media sees J.J. McCarthy. He's a mystery box. 18 months, we have no idea what he's going to look like, and that's fair. But are people sure about Jordan Love? Jordan Love is making $55 million a year to not show up in big games. I mean, he's not worth $55 million a year yet, so it's kind of funny that there's no conversation about, maybe there will be soon, how much pressure there now is on Jordan Love. Much more so than J.J. McCarthy, I feel like, in year one.
But if I'm a Vikings fan, yeah, you feel disrespected, but you should be thrilled. Yeah. This is the best case. There is, I guarantee the first day of training camp, because he did this, or the first night before training camp, he did this last year. O'Connell walks into that room. This will probably come out at some point from the Vikings and talks about this. Yeah. And so, would it be nice to be talked about more, just from a standpoint of, yeah, it would be. But I think this is the best thing possible. Let them sleep. They did last year because of Darnold, right? Darnold stinks. He's no good. And I don't think there's an upside for a team like this and a quarterback like McCarthy to having pressure added.
Yeah.
So the more that they don't expect things, if I'm a fan, I love that. And I guarantee you, the Vikings love it. So you're right, but it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. I want to bring this one up real
dude.
quick. We'll get back to this. You'll get to you next, and then we'll keep going online here. But from John S., he was our buddy in the Gopher Suite last night, and he brought up a really fun conversation among us last night that I want to bring to the show here. It's he calls it the Mr. Miyagi fix exercise.
Okay.
That if you could go back in Vikings history and you could Mr. Miyagi fix in the moment any injuries.
Oh, God.
What would you go back and Mr. Miyagi fix?
Oh, this is a great question.
Oh, boy.
And he's got a couple examples. We kicked a couple around. I mean, Teddy was brought up.
Yeah.
Which, if Teddy doesn't blow out his knee, he's probably like the 14th best quarterback in the league. I don't know that he ascends to be a top 5
He was having a hell of a camp. But
yeah.
Right.
I said Brett Favre's ankle in the fourth quarter of the 09
Yeah, I was going to say,
if his ankle feels good, does he just run for 10 yards and they kick a field goal?
Do you
at the end of that game?
Do you go as far as Sam Bradford? Because that was a really fun year, but Sam Bradford was a hell of a quarterback.
I mean, they got to the NFC title game. You think the mystery door is worth opening, revisiting
Well,
that?
they have gone further. You're saying they would have won the Super Bowl with Sam or Darnold or Bradford? You said Bradford.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Bradford, but here's the thing, and Mike Zimmer predicted this. It all came unglued in Philadelphia, and Keenum collapsed. So my question is, because that team was good, Phil, you talked about this. That team was built on defense.
Yeah.
That was your calling card. Does Bradford when you get to the playoffs, does he get you? Because that Philadelphia team was good, but they were not unbeatable.
What if, so John suggests this one as a hypothetical. What if you do the Mr. Miyagi thing to Kirk's Achilles in week 8 or week 9 of 2023?
They make the playoffs and lose.
But do they win a playoff game?
No.
And then do they extend him and give him the bag that he got from Atlanta, no Achilles injury?
First of all, I think they make the playoffs. They got off to a terrible start, but it was partially because of fumbles. They couldn't hold on to the football. And then Kirk was playing well. Do I think he wins a playoff game? No. The Giants game, the Saints pass in 19 to Thielen that ended up with the Rudolph touchdown was a nice play.
Yeah.
Heck of a pass, heck of a catch.
Very nice. Yeah.
But the Giants game in 22 lost me. So I think they make the playoffs. I think they go out first round.
Okay. Keep thinking on that. This could be a theme throughout the rest of the show. It's a fun exercise.
You could say back in was it the late 80s or in 90? It might have been in 90. Keith Millard blew out his knee. Back in the time when if you blew out your knee, you might not come back.
Cooked.
But if I recall correctly, Johnny Randall eventually stepped in. So it was a pretty nice transition, and that's. But I mean, Millard in his heyday probably is one of the more unrecognized Vikings now.
What about Dante's knee in 05?
I think it was over for him here because of what happened with it was Tice was coach. Lenahan had left his OC, which affected Dante. Dante was upset about his contract that entire year. For his career's sake, I would have been interested. I don't know he would have stayed here.
What about J.J. McCarthy's meniscus last year so that this is his second year of starting? Now he's more ready to win a Super Bowl in 2025.
Now, what I wanted last year was for him to sit behind Darnold in practice, but this would not be, in my world, this would not be a second year of starting. Still first year.
Okay. All right, let's go back to the live audience here. What's your name? What's your feedback?
Hi, my name is Xander. I listen to you guys every day. I know my girlfriend with you guys and everything. So I know we just got Thielen back. So I was just curious, who do you guys think has the better shot of starting more snaps at wide receiver 3 during games, Thielen or Naylor? Because I know Thielen's yards after the catch has been down the past few years, but he had like almost 1,000-yard season last year, I believe. And with Naylor out, and the hand, going through the surgery and everything like that. He's also just, a bit younger of a player. Thielen's, has a higher IQ and stuff like that. So especially during, important moments like red zone stuff, he might provide more value. And so I was just curious what you guys think about that.
I think, unfortunately for Jalen Naylor, who had a real shot to be wide receiver 2, if not for the injury and inconsistent training camp, he's a free agent after the year. There's really no plans to give him significant money. They can't. So there's no real loyalty to him long term. Yeah. They got Ty Felton in the draft. I think this whole situation, from the suspension to the Thielen acquisition to the injury, I think it just puts Jalen Naylor on the shelf. I mean, he'll be active and whatnot, but I think pretty definitively he'll be the 4th wide receiver, and Thielen will be the trustworthy number 3, I think.
Well, a couple of things there. Thielen, at his age, I don't know that you want him playing as much, certainly, as he did a few years ago. The other thing on Naylor is if this does not light a massive fire under his ass, nothing will. You're going to be a free agent. You were going to be wide receiver 3 for sure. Now you might be 3, but you might be 4. You've dropped far too many passes. So I actually like this because I think it puts, to a certain degree, Thielen, but certainly Naylor's pride in play. And I want to see who does what now. But I do think the reliability of Thielen in certain situations becomes a really nice thing. And again, you know what, though? Guys get hurt, too. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have those 4. I guarantee, unfortunately, those 4 are not all going to play 17 games. Yeah. But Jalen Naylor now, it's not his fault he got hurt, but I think this really, really provides incentive for him.
Yeah, well, but it also, it might just be too late to utilize the incentive.
Well,
when it comes down to it, and you're playing your schedule gets tough after the bye week.
Yeah.
And you got the Ravens coming up, and who are you trusting at wide receiver 3 in a tough, close game in the red zone? Need someone to get open in the end zone right now. Thielen or Jalen Naylor?
I would trust Thielen healthy, but don't forget he missed 7 games because of a hamstring last year. And I got to be honest, I do have a little bit of concern about Jefferson coming back now. I mean, he missed all of training camp, which I think was smart, and I think it was just on purpose. but hamstrings are hamstrings, which really concern me. So if nothing else, you know what now? You have far superior depth to what you had last week.
Yeah. Good
Bless
question.
the knees. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's keep it rocking here.
All right, Chase from Anoka here. Got to shout out my brother Zach and my dad Mike.
Nice.
My question is, we're $50 million over the cap for next year. Do you think part of the reason that Kwesi's attaining so many of these picks is to kind of fill some of that void for next year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's ways to get back below the cap, which they will. But can you get far enough below to add free agents if you need to add a snipping free agent? It's going to be tough.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, you could trade a couple still for current players, but it's good for him. It's good foresight to see. All right, well, we've paid a lot of players here, and the only way to replenish is to draft 9 or 10 players and hope that 4 of them hit.
And it's funny, what Kwesi has sort of done, and the staff this time around, I think, is the right move. So what drove me crazy about the 22 draft was they tried to, and I know they had just been there like 2 months, but they tried to get more picks back during the draft, which I don't necessarily love, especially like in the first round when you bail way backwards. But the way that they're doing it now, I absolutely love, because the timing is perfect, and it does accrue picks. But yeah, they're definitely going to have some decisions here. And this goes back to what I've been talking about. This is why they are all in. Like, this is not about, hey, what's going to happen next year? Now, they're trying to gear up for that and to protect it a little bit.
Yeah.
But, when you look at the veterans, when you look at the outlay of cash, when you look at all of those things, this is a splash. This is not a, well, I hope we can win in 25, but 26 or 27, watch out. But I actually appreciate this accruing draft picks this way a lot more than I did trying to do it all on draft night.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good question, man. Let's keep rocking here. Feedback Friday. We have a snake draft of the week coming up shortly, too.
Hey, fellas. Dominique from Albert Lee.
Hey, Dominique.
Wondering more about Cashman. I really haven't heard you guys talk about Cashman in the offseason. How do you guys feel about him coming this season? I know he was the glue to our defense last season for sure.
Same thing, right? I think I think we haven't talked about him a ton, not out of disrespect, but he was just such a steady guy. Now, he previously had some injury problems, and I think he missed, 3 games a year ago, and they lost all 3 or something ridiculous. Right. But, yeah, we have probably ignored him a little bit, 1, because he's not new now, but 2, because he's just a steady player.
Yeah.
He was a guy, I think Flores was surprised at the impact that guy had. I mean, he's clearly a really smart player. He's a green dot guy, so he's relaying the signals. But, yeah, it's not out of disrespect. It's out of the fact that he was just so consistent, and I expect the same thing. I expect the same exact thing, which is just consistency there.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. You guys are the best.
Thank you so much.
Man. Thanks for coming up, man. By the way, I see a bunch of people with these Score North merchandise bags. Northern Soda Company helped us produce those bags, so a shout out to Northern Soda Company. And our merch booth is over here. We definitely have some swag left. We got our Judd's Camp Notes notebooks available at the Score North merch booth, and you can check a bunch of hooded sweatshirts out and stuff over here. Just a reminder for the live crowd. Yeah, come on up. What's your feedback?
Hey guys, Alex from Plymouth here. Love the show. 2-part question. First part, who's more likely this year to throw for 4,000 yards, J.J. McCarthy or Caleb Williams? And then the second part to that question is, I'd love your guys' opinion. Ben Johnson has taken this public approach of setting public goals to the media for Caleb Williams, 70% completion rate, versus O'Connell's approach with JJ. He has these close to the chest benchmarks with him and his team. Would love your thoughts on those 2 questions.
Boy, so first of all, I think with the way the Vikings are going to operate their offense, hopefully, I think Caleb is probably more likely to reach 4,000 yards, but that doesn't mean he's the better quarterback.
It'll be the first time in their franchise. Now they have the extra game now, but in franchise history.
And I also think you're going to have some picks mixed in there as well. As far as the approach goes, you just brought up a topic I love, which is there is this massive assumption that Ben Johnson is going to go from being a really good OC to he's just going to be a great head coach, and he's perfect for Caleb. And we are hearing talk, and our guy Thor Nystrom brought this up in the spring. He said he is a terrible coach for what Caleb does well.
Yeah.
Like it is oil and water. And the fact that Ben Johnson decided to come in here and be a hard ass right away, kicking guys out of practice, this is not college. This is not Little League. These guys are adults. They're not afraid of you. Like, you do that once, cool. You do it twice, it might work. You do it 3 times, they tune you out. So the Ben Johnson thing to me is, and he might be fine, but let's wait and see. We anoint these these defensive or offensive coordinators as they're just going to be great. I'll tell you one. I don't know how good Aaron Glenn with the Jets. He's a hard ass as well.
That's going to be an interesting one because he's like fighting with the media every day too.
And that's a terrible idea.
Entertaining, but is it going to be effective?
And part of their problem is, and I give this guy credit because it works for him, Dan Campbell, okay, who doesn't play the role
Dan Campbell
of football. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know that he kicks you out of practice and things, and I certainly don't think he fights with the press, but he's a gruff dude. He, in my opinion, has perfected the Mike Tice sort of act. But if these guys think they're going to go to Chicago or New York and you're going to fight with the players and the media, you're not in Minnesota. Like, there's going to be pushback from everyone, and are you prepared for that? And if the Caleb Ben Johnson relationship goes sideways, it's going to be fun to watch, but you're not going to want to be a Chicago Bear.
Yeah. No, thank
you,
man.
great point.
Just for fun here, I pulled up Prize Picks to answer what they thought the answer would be to the passing yards question. So Prize Picks has these season-long totals for every quarterback, or a bunch of them, and they've got the season total for McCarthy and Caleb Williams passing yards, the exact same number, 3,600.5 passing yards. So 3,600 for McCarthy. If he's healthy, I think you click more on that. And you can support the show, too. So just speaking of Prize Picks real quick here, we appreciate them jumping on board for another season. You can download the Prize Picks app today and use the code PURPLEDAILY, all one word, to get $50 in lineups when you play just $5. That's code PURPLEDAILY on the Prize Picks app. You select between 2 and 6 players. It's super fast. You select more or less on their projected stats. Thor was rifling off like Gophers Buffalo Prize Picks things last night. It was hilarious to watch in person. But code Purple Daily on Prize Picks. And we're sitting here on the Minnesota Rusco Score North podcast deck. We appreciate their partnership this year. And Cody and Casey at Minnesota Rusco have been leading the charge, helping people and families with their remodeling visions and projects. And right now, for the next couple days in the month of August, they are offering a deal, 2 full years, no payments, no interest, no labor costs on all bathrooms, kitchens, windows, siding, roofing, decks, and doors. Minnesota Rusco is here to help you turn that remodel into a reality, just like they helped us with here, actually. This is a brand new desk.
Yeah.
I think our engineer, Mike, had a lot to do with this as well, and Adam.
Oh, you are?
Pat.
I'd like to take it home.
It's pretty sweet. But MinnesotaRusco.com to make that remodel a reality. We have good time for, let's do 3 more here, and then we'll get to our snake draft of the week here to wrap up
I've reached
Daily
the
at the
standing portion of the show.
It is a little swassy over here.
Reached the standing portion of the show.
You have no breeze up against that wall there.
No, it's,
clearly.
I'm not complaining about this fair. It's been gorgeous for the most part.
It has been.
Thank you for recommending Podrigs. There was the Red Ale.
The Red Ale,
at
yeah.
O'Gara's.
Red
Had
Chimney.
one of those today. Fantastic.
They are good.
My wife for convincing me to stand in a line longer than a half hour today. This is the first one.
Fine work.
That's amazing. I actually ripped one of the. It shall go nameless, but people were waiting 45 minutes in line for a food item. And I was, that's ridiculous. As you guys wait 45 minutes to just ask us questions, so we appreciate that. What's your feedback?
So this was the second year of like stuff happening at East Ridge with practices or some stuff happening.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy was named captain this year, so more or less he was running some captain practices before the season, more
Pretty
or
much,
less.
yeah.
Hawkinson was injured last year. Was he around this season or this spring?
Yeah,
he was at those
East Ridge?
workouts.
He was at those too. Yeah.
That's confirmed.
Yep.
So essentially, all of his offensive weapons in the last 2 seasons, he's been throwing to already.
Yeah.
That's just a thought that I had, and my wife said I should talk about the captain's practices that he's been running with his full offensive weapons this season.
Yeah, it's huge.
JJ actually went down to Nashville to throw with TJ. So he threw up here with Jefferson and Thielen at the high school. Yeah, and he went down to not tight end U, but that's where it's held. And yeah, I mean, JJ's done his work to try to be good. Like, this is not a fluky thing. He has worked his butt off, and it's another reason why I think Hawkinson's going to have a big year.
Right on.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thanks for coming
Thanks
out.
for waiting.
Yeah, appreciate you. Come on up. Your name and your feedback.
Adam from Forston. In 2015, we started our own fantasy football podcast. And instead of like your hottest takes, we had bold predictions.
Yeah.
So the start of I think it would have been the 2016 season. Sam Bradford, Case Keenum was the backup. My bold prediction was Bradford would get hurt after 2 games.
Oh.
And Keenum would lead the Vikings to the Super Bowl.
You predicted that before the season?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So Minneapolis
You know
Miracle.
what, though? You were wrong, just so you know.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. But after that Minneapolis Miracle, I thought this was meant to be. It wasn't, but this year, my hottest take, Vikings will win the Super Bowl. McCarthy doesn't get hurt. He brings us all the way to the promised land. Skol!
Wow.
Nice.
All right.
Wow, Adam.
Very nice, Adam.
And Adam, like, almost had that one. Came so close on the Case Keenum prediction.
Beautiful.
And come on up. Adam Thielen jersey dusted off. Let's go.
Hey, guys. Jack from Bloomington. I've been listening since the 1500 days. So
Thank you. Thank you,
about
Jack.
5 or 6 years now. So my question coming off of last night, we got a little taste of what Coy Parrish can do on the offensive side of the ball. We saw him make the 2-foot catch against Buffalo at least.
Yeah.
So my question is, what do you see as his ceiling? Do you think he could climb up the boards as high as like a Travis Hunter? And second part is, do you think the Vikings have a shot at taking him?
Well, it'd be fun. They had a shot at Antoine Winfield Jr. and passed on it.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Might regret that.
He's
But
a first-round talent.
And he has to hone it for another, because he can't.
Yeah.
He has to stay for next year too. So by the time he's fully done developing,
Yep.
he's probably a first-round pick.
I
right?
see him as a first-round pick. I don't know where yet, and I don't know if, like, the Travis Hunter ask, by the way, is far more difficult than it's being given credit for. Like, these are intricate playbooks, and I'm not saying that you can't play both sides, but this is not like schoolyard football. So I'm very curious to see how that works. I mean, playing cornerback in this league is difficult, right? But then you're playing cornerback and you're playing receiver. Coy Parrish, safety. But I was talking to somebody here before the show started. You know, Coy Parrish would be a really nice transition by a couple of years to Harrison Smith, wouldn't
Exactly.
it? Like, you see him, you see the look, you see him play, and man, that's a kid that I would work my butt off, assuming he's not like a top 3 pick, because that would be tough, but I would work my butt off to keep that kid home. He is the real deal.
Yeah. Dude, Coy Parrish last night, I think they were alternating offensive series. He didn't play, but he was in the first series, caught the first pass, and then he was off, and he probably doesn't know the whole offensive playbook. But he's literally special teams, defense, every other series on offense.
Yeah.
And working in even more offensively. This is super fun to watch.
Yeah, I love that thought.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on,
Thank
man.
you.
Appreciate
Awesome
you.
stuff.
Let's take one more here, just from the feedback tab in the Score North app. And then while we're doing that, AJ Fredrickson,
AJ.
the king of
Andy Pettit.
of the snake draft of the week.
All he does
from
is
Judd's
win.
Hockey Show. He does a ton of work for us on social media. We want AJ. Come on out here right now if you can hear us, AJ.
I love Age.
To compete in the snake draft of the week.
I love Age, but I tried to throw up a roadblock here because he always wins.
Yeah, and you've got the stats that we'll get to here in just a second. But this is a question from
Marion.
Look at him. There he is. We should have the Yohan Duran.
Wow.
Amazing. So Kyle Larson says, "Good morning, gentlemen. I hope this message finds you through the hordes of hot, sweaty Minnesotans at the fair." It did. Thank you, Kyle. I've been an avid listener for the last several years, and I always enjoy when you guys talk about the old radio show days or little snippets of how you guys all met. This got me thinking it'd be cool if you could devote some time to the historical lore of Score North.
Wow.
How did you guys meet? How did you find that gem of a man, Thor Nystrom, or the O-line committee guys? Anyways, I think it'd be cool to indulge the Purple Daily nerds like me about the background of how all of this got started. I'm getting married on October 9th.
Nice.
So, wow. Kyle and Marissa are getting married on October 9th. Shout out to you guys. That's really cool. Been listening to you guys in the background with my wife for a while, so she knows what's coming when the Gallahorn blows to start the show. Love you guys and keep up the great work. Well, Judd, you and I started doing, well, actually what's funny is the first time I met Judd was in 2007 at a journalism class at the University of Minnesota. I was taking some sort of like media class with John
Rash.
Yep. Was the adjunct professor. And Judd was a guest speaker in our class about like sports media.
Yep.
And I remember then later on that year, that was in like the winter of 06 or 07, I started covering the Vikings for KFXN Radio's website.
Yep.
And I showed up at training camp, and knowing now this must have been just a terrible moment for you, I approached Judd in the press room, and I said, hey, my name is Phil Mackey.
Hi.
Mr. Zolgad.
I don't know why your voice is higher in this scenario.
And
but
you.
Yeah.
I'm 12.
Yeah, hey there.
Hi.
Hello, Mr. Zolgad.
Hi, Judd. I'm Philip.
You spoke in my college class last semester.
And I said, kid, don't do it.
Yeah.
Get out of the business. Run.
And then, I don't know, like throughout the next couple years, then I would go meet Judd and Chip Scoggins and Kevin Seifert at the Applebee's in Mankato for some training camp meals.
Yep.
And then eventually you got the itch for radio, and I had joined, Tom Pelissero and I had gotten hired by the brand new ESPN Twin Cities, 1500 ESPN in 2010. And about a year later, you had done like some weekend radio and different things.
Yeah, doing Royce.
And you jumped over full time to join the party at 1500 ESPN in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And couple different iterations of the Judd and Blank show, turned into, it was the Royce and Mackey radio show, and eventually you and I were paired up for the Mackey and Judd radio show it was a 4-hour daily radio show on 1500 ESPN from 9 to 1 every day. And that
was a lot of radio, ladies and gentlemen.
It was a lot of radio. It was from 2014 through like 2018-ish, and this is a longer story for another day, but we kind of looked at the tea leaves of where media was headed and where younger audiences were consuming, and made a big change to go from AM radio, completely new startup within Hubbard here called Score North in 2019. And I think the current iteration of what you see now, and Declan jumped on board as a part-time producer, 2017?
16 left, came back.
You left us.
And then got AJ, because AJ was at St. Cloud State with me when he was a freshman, I was a senior. So AJ and I have just been like tag teaming roles for like on and off for almost 10 years now, to be honest.
You guys hard at work at St. Cloud?
Oh, yeah, just really, grinding the
one guy going in the bar,
team,
one guy going out of the bar.
Yeah. I never bought, AJ was like 18, 19 when I met him, but I never, I was a good boy. I didn't buy him booze or anything.
That's okay. He had other ways to get it.
Yeah.
We were hitting the books real hard.
Real hard.
Yeah, St. Cloud, you don't have to worry too much.
Yeah, you're good there.
And then I guess 2020 was kind of the year out of the pandemic where we just committed all into YouTube and podcast and social media, and the 8 podcasts you see here on the sign down here on our Score North podcast stage, but that's the really quick, shortened version. So you and I have been friends for like, I don't know, a decade and a half, and friends/colleagues for 12 years now.
Yep, because I saw you, I think it was in 2007, when Chip and I walked into the Applebee's in Mankato, and you had put yourself in a food coma. I've never seen it one man with more plates in front of him. There must have been an appetizer special, and you got everything.
It was after 9 o'clock, so 2-for-1s were in
Chip
play.
and I walk in and we're like, hey, it's Mackey. And Phil's like, hey, what's going on?
Do you want some boneless wings? There's 4 orders here.
Pushing the plates around, trying to stand up.
Not a lot of people know that 2 for 20 can be for one person.
Yeah.
It was in this case. I stole some eventually.
So I guess for Kyle, the emailer, that's kind of the quick backstory of all of this. So, all right, who's ready for a snake draft of the week to wrap our Purple Daily Fair show? All right,
let's do this.
So, we've been doing these for a little over a year now, and AJ comes in as like the fill-in when one of us is out and wins almost every time. What are the statistics, Declan?
AJ is 6 for 10. He is batting .600 when he appears on a snake draft.
Wow.
Phil, you won just your second snake draft since mid-April last week.
Let's go.
With best
You're
Stay
like the
new
Twins.
streak, baby. Here
You're
we
like
go.
the Twins. You were hot in May and then just went in the crapper after.
Oh, man. Fire everybody.
You won with the new State Fair Foods draft, so that was a win for you. You
Okay.
are 17 for 53. Judd, you are our all-time leader of 21 wins. You have also participated in every single snake draft.
Yep.
Between the other three of us, we have taken weeks off here and there. There's no days off, no weeks off for Judd Zolgad.
No Tuesdays off.
No Tuesdays off. 8 days a week. Working 21 for 58 is your all-time statistics. Let's see your runner-up finishes, because we do track those. I have the most runner-up finishes at 20, which is fitting.
Wow. Phil Mickelson.
Judd is 17.5. Phil is 16.5. Here's actually also another thing with AJ. So AJ has won 6 of the 10 snake drafts. He has finished in last place only one time. So no matter what,
Dude,
he either wins or is the runner-up to winning
I'm sure glad
the
you're
snake
here.
draft.
I'm sure glad you're here to win again.
That was because of MASH that one time.
Yeah, you picked. You did go rogue on that one. You went rogue.
Yeah, good
So we're gonna do a 4-person draft this week. I believe the order is Mackie, Judd, Declan, AJ,
Yeah.
and then AJ with the wraparound. Three picks still, right? Three.
Yeah. So
three?
it'll be 12 options selected here, and the category was inspired again by John and the crew at the Gopher Suite last night. They did their own version of this, and we're going to steal it. Breakfast food items.
Okay.
Breakfast food items, all right?
Yeah.
So I think we should just leave it as open-ended as possible.
As that for now, yes. Yep.
If we run into any snags, we can debate them. Are there any other things we should consider here?
Like, there's going to be one item of breakfast that is a very universal part of breakfast, and we just have to be very – I think we have to set a ground rule of if you were to take a certain egg – I don't think you get all eggs.
You have to be a little more specific than eggs. Is that okay?
Omelet? You have to take a certain omelet. I don't think you can just say omelet.
Is this strategizing you to take 2 omelets in your types of omelets?
I want to see 12 omelets drafted.
No, I've got a big board, okay?
Okay.
But I'm
big
just
board.
saying, like, you can't just take omelets.
I have a big board. Okay.
My big board is all set.
Okay.
And stop looking at my stuff.
I kind of want to. I have an idea of what Judd has on his big board. And one of the ones that you mentioned is also very high on my big board.
Okay,
So
well, then snipe it.
But I think
I got
I do.
plenty
So I
more.
have the number 1 overall pick
I
here.
don't think. Do we have the chime on here? Yes.
Is it?
I can get it.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. I got to
Okay.
edit it. I got to edit
I think it's worth waiting for the.
Is it worth? Okay.
The chime here.
always
And
think
while
this
you
one
do
is.
that, a
Uh-huh.
reminder that Game Day Men's Health has been presenting us here all day at the Minnesota State Fair. GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Purple Daily. Solutions. No shame, no judgment, just solutions through Game Day Men's Health. And also a shout out to Federated Mutual Insurance Company. Federated has been helping Score North, just that whole backstory, back to when we were 1500 ESPN, Mackey and Judd shows. So we appreciate them and the work that they've done, too, to help small and medium-sized businesses, the backbone of America, throughout all 50 states. They're based in Minnesota. They are from Owatonna, Minnesota, and for over 120 years. And they can help you like an offensive line helps a quarterback with frontline protection, your reputation, your workplace, your employees, and your financial assets. FederatedInsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours.
All right, man.
I'll let you fire
Yep,
the chimes
let's go.
here, old Dex. All right, I love a good breakfast sandwich, and I think we have to be more specific than just breakfast sandwich.
Yes.
So give me just a good, simple sausage, egg, cheese breakfast sandwich. A sausage, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich.
I'm loving it.
With
Yep.
my number
Age,
one
are
pick.
you tracking this?
Yeah, I got
okay.
it.
Okay.
I got them two here.
Okay.
I'm not tracking anything.
I know you not. I know
I'm
you're not.
listening.
You're listening to your picks and your picks only, and your
I'm
big boards.
listening with big time intent to snipe picks, but not.
Judd's on the clock.
All right. A lot of choices here. A lot of choices, but you know what? I will start off with an omelet. Give me a Denver omelet.
Oh.
Denver omelet. Okay.
And that's what, so to be clear, ham, is it ham, onions?
No, I mean, let me see what exactly
You don't
is
even
in
know.
it.
Judd just orders the Denver
Yeah,
omelet.
I'm a creature of habit, and I like it good Denver. I mean, no question.
What would you guess is in a Denver omelet before you look it up?
I've got it right here. It's two like diced ham, onions, and grilled bell peppers, folded into a fluffy egg omelet.
Oh.
while usually served for breakfast, it's hearty enough for any meal. Thank you, AI.
You could, yeah.
Is there an omelet on a stick here? If not, I just gave someone $1 billion idea.
Oh, yeah, because that won't fall apart all over.
Dude, there's hot
it'll be
dish on a
fried.
stick
It'll be-
here, you know? Like, I don't know. I think they'd figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Dex.
Okay. So I feel like a lot of big items still on the board. I think we went a little cute with picks 1 and 2. I'll be honest. If I can critique your picks, I think we went a little too cute.
I don't think they're cute. I think they're just staples.
Last time I went simple with hard shell taco, soft shell taco.
Yeah.
People savaged me
You know
for
what?
the Taco Bell draft. So
I took Ryan Kelly. He took Will Fries.
Okay.
Like, we're going meat and potatoes here, baby.
Okay. All right. I'm going to keep this simple. Give me pancakes. Give me, I guess, blueberry pancakes.
Oh.
Okay. Because if someone wants chocolate chip pancakes, you can take that. I don't like hot take. I don't like chocolate chip pancakes. I like blueberry pancakes.
Okay.
So blueberry pancakes.
And the guy who's going to win.
You get the wraparound. Back-to-back picks for AJ.
Yeah.
Can I just go scrambled eggs?
Yeah. Yes,
I'm going to
I
go
almost
scrambled
did.
eggs.
That's what I just should have done. Now I'm pissed.
That's a foundational player. That's a franchise player.
Yeah.
That is like sign a 10-year contract.
It's a franchise player, but he's aging.
But he's drafting a tackle out of Michigan. Like it's solid.
Aging.
He's a timeless wonder.
Yeah.
Is he aging? I feel like he's just been the same age the whole time.
It's getting old. It's getting old. He sticks to the pan more now.
I screwed this up.
You got to get the stickless pan.
I rushed.
I do the dishes.
Or spray some olive oil or something.
Yeah, I know. But there's nothing like trying to get those eggs off the pan.
You could also just like wash them off right away instead of waiting for them to become one with the pan.
I'm eating.
I rushed the pick. AJ it's a great pick. I'm pissed.
All right, AJ, first
I
pick
told
of
you
the
should have
second
invited
round.
him. You guys were like, let's get AJ involved. I'm like, he's going to win.
I'll get a little cuter here. I'll go a little cuter.
You know, I love you, though.
We're going to go with a sausage, egg, and cheese breakfast burrito.
Okay. Oh, wow.
That's a good call. I love that call.
Burrito's great. Easy to wrap up. You don't have to worry about like a sandwich if you're toasting the bread. Maybe it's in the toaster too long.
Do
you know what I
So many
found?
things to worry about. Yeah.
Do you know what I found, though? Because Dawn picks our brunch spots, and often they're hoity-toity. There's nothing worse than when you get a burrito and you're expecting just a big burrito.
Oh, it's like a little tiny.
And you get it's cut.
Yeah.
It's two tiny pieces because this is going to be delicious. Just give me a big burrito.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel because you think this is going to put me down for the rest of the day, and then you wind up still being kind of hungry. Yeah, been there.
All right,
Back
I'm
to
back
Declan.
on. All right, give me the first side item. Just give me bacon.
Yeah.
Just give me bacon. I think this is simple. And preferably, I guess if you really want to get specific, you can make it chewy, but let's just call it bacon because I think we're okay. If someone takes crispy bacon and has a point with that, all right, I guess we have to fight over it. But bacon. Bacon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Keeping it simple. We're back to Judd. Your second pick.
Give me waffles with strawberry and whipped cream.
Whoa.
AJ, I'm really excited for you to find all of those.
I'm getting an ovation for that.
Thank you very much.
So was strawberry
and whipped cream.
What led you to strawberry specifically as your fruit of choice?
I
here?
enjoy strawberries with a waffle. I don't know why exactly, but it's my blueberries aren't bad. I'm not bashing them. I would take them, but I just like a good. If you get
some Cool Whip,
and a fresh waffle too, like that again is something.
Yeah.
There are certain breakfast foods that, depending on the restaurant, are either delicious. Like I'll give you one. Huge range here, okay? And I like these, but avocado toast. Done right, love it. Done wrong,
I feel like
soggy.
There's a couple things that I get shredded for the ahi. Even last night, people are clowning me for the ahi tuna crisp pick, which I stand by.
That was terrible.
But I feel like
dive
avocado toast kind of fits into that hoity-toity category. It is good.
Don't get it at a dive bar. I did that once. Huge mistake. Never do it again. It was just runny and gross.
I made that mistake as well once. Got food poisoning. Don't eat avocado
you
toast
kept
with
eating,
brisket in the
though.
desert.
You kept eating
I was
it.
hungry. I don't.
Like, who tastes something
Sometimes
like
it's worth the risk, man.
It's never worth the risk.
You can't have waffles without Cool Whip.
I do like the Cool Whip, though.
Cool Whip.
You got back-to-back.
I got the back-to-backs here. With one of them, I want hash brown patty.
Patty.
Hash brown patty.
Okay.
Or whatever you call those.
Yeah,
You know, like
a squared, not yes. Yeah, I gotcha.
like a hash brown. I think we'll just call it a patty.
Sure.
And Boy,
I don't think it's going to.
Do I wipe out this draft by taking quiche? Because I do love a good quiche.
No, take quiche. It's so you.
Do it. Yeah, it's a
Take
very.
quiche.
It's
We
a
can
very
mock you in
Mac pick.
5 weeks from now.
A good spinach and artichoke quiche.
Yeah.
Never spell quiche.
Nothing like
It's with
going to
a Q. Q-U-I-C-H-E.
Yep.
Is that it?
Or do I go the
quiche.
omelet route? I'm going to go the omelet route here. Give me a meat lover's omelet. Your little Denver omelet with just the ham and some other things? No.
You had quiche.
I want an omelet with bacon, Italian sausage, regular sausage, any kind of meat you can think of. Throw some turkey in there.
Quiche would have helped you lose, but it would have been so memorable. I feel like ahi tuna and quiche, very much 2005 Vikings first round. Williamson and James.
No.
We'll never forget them.
No, those were abject busts. You'd have to find like the draft picks that were wildly successful, but like you had to kind of squint to see their value.
Ahi tuna wouldn't have got you mocked if it hadn't been in a dive bar.
Yeah, I mean that.
No. The word dive was never part of that draft. It was best bar foods.
Yeah.
And you all hijacked it thinking it was dive bar foods. It was bar foods.
Okay, it should have been. Well, then it should have been
in the West Metro or something. Like I don't know. I think you went way too cute. I think you went way. And I love ahi tuna crisp. They're not. They don't belong.
Yeah.
So this type of bullying is
ahi tuna crisps.
This type of bullying is why I didn't take quiche. Let it be known.
I know.
Okay. All right.
All right, Judd, you're back on the clock here.
Okay. This is my last pick, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going
of the fair.
Please don't
period.
snipe me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with something.
Don't snipe me.
That is a meal, but it's also a beverage. A Bloody Mary.
This is a great pick.
Bloody Mary.
Is that
It's
a
a great
draft
pick.
winner?
It might be.
Oh, that's
Like,
great.
if you load that
Yeah.
sucker up, I mean, my
Dude,
God, you the endless
Do you like
condiments.
Bloody Marys?
No, I'm trying to win the draft.
I knew it. I've never seen him have a Bloody Mary in my life.
The next time that he goes, I draft what I draft because I'm me and I don't want to pander. Remember this moment.
Yeah,
Bloody Mary draft.
you're right. Hey, you know what? Thanks a lot, H. Bye. Bye. We'll see you later.
You'll drink the chaser.
Oh, yeah.
You'll drink the chaser.
Absolutely.
But Dawn likes them, and I
love a
see the array.
Does
of
she drink the
Bloody
chaser or
Marys.
does she give that to you?
Oh, no, she drinks the chaser.
Okay.
Are you kidding?
Okay.
She's
Love
not
a
gonna
Bloody
give me
Mary.
her alcohol.
Bloody Mary's great.
All right, Declan, your final pick here.
All right. I'm glad this fell to me. Because it is my favorite breakfast item. It's my favorite thing to get on a menu. You're good, AJ. I think you think I'm okay here. Give me French toast. Love French toast. It's my if it's on a breakfast
Pancakes
menu.
and French toast for the next year.
Yeah, that's a lot of carbs.
I need them.
And you still won't gain a pound.
Like them. Yeah, I know.
And you still won't gain any weight.
In one way, out the other. Give me French toast. It's my favorite breakfast food item. I'm good with that.
Love it. All right, and the Mr. Irrelevant pick here, the final pick in the breakfast food snake draft to AJ Fredrickson.
These ones are wide ranging because you could go out of the freezer section at the grocery store. You could get it at the airport if you wanted to. It's going to be a hot, steamy, but soft cinnamon roll.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Give me the cinnamon roll.
That's a really good pick.
I had it on my big board.
I was worried where you were going for
I
a
was
second, but
also
that's a
like,
good one.
where is this going?
What's
That's a good
AJ
one.
Could
been
have
eating?
got a left turn and gotten really weird.
No, a good cinnamon roll is fantastic.
Okay, so the final rosters are, I wind up with the sausage, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich, a hash brown patty, and a meat lover's omelet. Judd winds up with a Denver omelet, waffles with strawberry and whipped cream, and a Bloody Mary to wash it down, even though he hasn't had a Bloody Mary in probably 25 years or more.
I'll drink them. I'm just not a huge fan.
Declan with blueberry pancakes, bacon, and French toast.
Yep.
And then AJ with the scrambled eggs, the sausage, egg, and cheese breakfast burrito, and the cinnamon roll for his roster. Wow. The voting available soon on the Score North. Maybe not soon.
It'll
Who
be
knows? On the Score North Twitter account, we'll see who reigns supreme.
Yeah. It's going to be
Probably
a tight
AJ.
It's going to be a tight race until Age pulls away and wins.
I'd like Dex's last two picks a lot.
Bacon's good.
Pretty strong.
Bacon is
Bloody Mary's a sneaky one, though.
Bloody Mary. I love that pick.
It's a good zig.
I love a Bloody.
Have we ever accounted for AJ seems to have a lot to do with the entire process? Like, we accuse Phil of cheating on the random Viking or twin. Like, I've never really thought about this, but AJ behind the scenes.
We don't know what the inner workings of the ballot boxes are.
That's
Only
what I'm
AJ
saying,
does.
yeah.
Let's just say if Phil sends me a maybe awkward text the night before, his pictures aren't going to look that good on the draft the next day.
And I will say, You know what, AJ? I'm gonna out us here. When the snake draft comes out, I do some collaboration with AJ on my big board.
What?
I sometimes
Wait a
collaborate with
second.
AJ.
Wait a second.
Sometimes collaborate.
The objective counter of the statistics
I'm
is
being
helping
honest.
you form your.
I'm being honest.
How long has this been going on?
I run some ideas by him. Like, okay, I'll say this. He sends me ideas, and I'm like, there's no shot I would take that. I don't like that. It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
Just a collaboration.
It's just like Patrick Mahomes having just a conversation with the head official before the AFC Championship game.
And look who goes to Super Bowls. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Wow, dude. You and I have to fight.
You guys are like the Michigan football team.
You are actually pretty offended by this, aren't you?
Connor Stallions.
Yeah, you're
Judd's actually offended by this.
Yeah, we're getting. Well, I mean, Phil and I don't talk about this.
I mean,
ever.
it's not working.
It's like
is it working for me?
First
You
of all,
guys have had the
you
first
can't
and second
talk
most
because
wins.
you just drafted something that you don't even consume to win the snake draft. So
Right, but I did
I'm the only one doing this with honor and with nobility.
Oh, you guys have drafted stuff you don't like either, and ordinarily I don't. But I just thought, what the heck this time? Because I'm not as, like this is a very arbitrary one. I feel like I can't control it.
I love how AJ just remained silent also the whole time. Like he was like,
it's culpable.
Well, that's because you and he didn't give you ideas this time. That's why that hurts you.
The way I view it is like Declan, he like cements his opinions. Because the amount of times that I've said, like,
you should do this
in like a movie draft, he's like, that's a terrible movie. That's a terrible movie. I would never take that in my life.
You guys are the 2017 Astros.
Jeez.
Curveball.
Just trash can banging.
Yeah.
Rigging this.
Thanks a lot.
Man.
Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa.
Well, controversially here, we have reached the end of our. This is the end of our 2025 fair run, man, and the end of our friendships.
Friendships will be broken.
Before we sign off on the Purple Daily YouTube channel here, if they're back there, I want Pat Lager and Mike Weber to come out here. You can leave the cameras unattended. So Pat Lager and Mike Weber are the behind-the-scenes masterminds for this whole setup. Give these guys a round of applause. These guys are awesome. And if is Adam back there too? Okay, Adam has been part of this too. But we have an amazing team here at Score North, people behind the scenes that maybe you don't get to see. That was Declan's doppelganger, Pat Lager, that just walked out there.
Same guy.
Like, holy, it was like the Spider-Man
I got him
there
confused
for a
at least
second.
once this fair.
Hey, Dex.
You did?
Pat.
Yeah. Because Pat was sitting sideways.
Hello.
And I thought it was Declan.
Hey, Dex. He looks over. Yeah. But thank you so much for making this just an awesome week and a half for Purple Daily and Score North. We give yourselves a round of applause,
you guys
too,
been
for
awesome.
bearing the humidity out here. So, and if you're new to Purple Daily, either on YouTube right now or in the audience, it is a 365-day-a-year Vikings community on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. We've got 8 different Score North podcasts here, too, part of our network, which you can find on this signage over here. But any final words of wisdom from the sports dad before we part ways here?
No, just thank you. Thank you to everyone who showed up. Like you said at the outset of the show, we didn't know what to expect. It's been fantastic. It's been fun. And don't forget, merchandise available all weekend long, even if we're not here.
Yeah, and we'll be at Running Aces on Thursday this week, just on the north edge of the Metro up 35 for another Purple Daily Unplugged event. So that would be purpledaily.com/unplugged. It's free, but we do ask that everyone RSVPs. And a shout out to Game Day Men's Health for helping to put this on today as well. So for AJ, the master of Snake Draft of the Week.
Cheater.
For our mustached producer, Declan.
Cheater.
For the sports dad, Judd, I'm Phil Mackey, and this is Purple Daily, where we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. Thank you so much.